That's my cue. When it gets to 0, that's my cue. Oh, how about that? Attention. Attention. Cut the music. Cut the damn music. Cut the damn music. I have an important announcement. And it will impact the NFL season and will have fantasy implications for weeks to come. I'm wearing sweatpants again, y'all. It's sweatpants season up in this bitch. Yeah, boy. Winter time's coming. Sweaty Freddy gets to cool off slightly. I'm still schwitzing because I literally just showered. You know, you like step out of a hot shower and then you prep for your 3-hour fantasy football show and you start to schwitz. I mean, we've all been there. What's going on, guys? Rick Rosen, Boom Fantasy, the check down, 3 hours in the chair, fantasy football advice, fantasy football questions, NFL breakdowns. We talk about the early slate. To my right, to your left is the $1 million slate cruising by on Boom Fantasy. Only $4 to play, $1 million top prize. What's going on, YouTube fam? What's going on, Boom Fantasy app fam? I'm pulling up your chat right now, just trying to make sure I get a little share on, get the juice behind the show so we can have everything as litty as possible. Make sure you let me know how you doing today. We got a really strong show because I think this is one of the slowest fantasy weeks of the season. In terms of the day slate, in terms of what we get, mostly in terms of like DFS, like day and afternoon. So, you know, we got some things to worry about because the matchups aren't ideal everywhere, and we're losing a lot of the best offenses in football. We're losing a lot of the fun from our Sunday, which is, you know, I'm not crazy about it, but at the same time, there are a lot of interesting matchups for us to learn from today. I think the most interesting is the matchup in Atlanta between Tampa and Atlanta. Not just because there's two bad defenses and two aerial offenses. It's Jameis' return. It's Jameis' return day. So we're going to find out if he's got some of that Fitz magic bottled up. If he's got some of Michael's magic water. It was just water. Spoilers. Jordan's magic juice to spice up that Tampa offense, which was a disaster before the bye against Chicago, and their defense got lit up for 6 touchdowns. So if that's what the defense is going to do, the offense is going to have to do something against one of the most depleted defenses in the NFL in Atlanta. It's your boy throwing up YouTube chat, hashtag getting it. Soft Pants Sunday. Yabo, yeah, the U-neck. Yeah, no, this shirt is supposed. I want to wear my Boom hoodie, but I'm sweating too bad, and it got to like 9:58. I just threw this on. I'll just pop this for the first. If I get one super chat, I will not super chat. If I get one Boombox deposit, I will pop my shirt for the first hour. That is a promise to the people. Shawnee Mac, all up in the chat. It's 10:09. This mofo is still drunk from last night. We are all about it. Shawnee Mac, I want to hear all your opinions about this Rachel Bush, Summer Rae feud. That was one of the top NFL storylines of the week. Rachel Bush just slaughtering thoughts on Twitter. Bringing down the hammer, the hoe hammer. Bringing it down. Letting side chicks know they are not welcome in Buffalo. Imagine being a young Bills player. I would just, dude, there's nothing to do in Buffalo. You probably bowl way more than you're comfortable with in that region. I have no idea who either of those tramps are. Shawnee Mac, you should know who Rachel Bush is. Okay. It's just someone that I think you should know. I think that's at Rachel Bush 2020, possibly. Is that fair? Let's check the schedule, see where we're at today. We got a loaded show today. We talk a little bit about Thursday night, and it's going to tie into the stuff we talk about later in the show. Eagles-Giants didn't go the way I thought it would, both in actuality and financially. Then we have our 2-team parlay. Hey, we missed on the 6, we missed on the 5, we missed on the 4, we missed on the 3. I got a 2-team parlay locked, rocked, and ready to cash. 2-teamer. And then we'll just have pick of the week. If it doesn't work, we'll just do lock of the week. But this 2-teamer is straight fuego. We'll talk about our boom early slate. The video is on our YouTube channel and in the water cooler if you need extra strategy for our Sunday slate. Sorry, I gotta get boom chat back up. I was in low power mode. Then we're going to do a little revisionist history about some of the biggest questions that we had going into the season. We look at some of the pre-draft debates that we had and how they've shaken out. Because we're 6 weeks in, and to most data analysts in the NFL, the thing about the NFL is that everything is on small sample size, right? You only run 60 plays-ish. You only get 16 games. So there's really no way to tell, in terms of consistency. But after 6 weeks, we get a pretty good picture of who's doing what well. So this is the last week where the data starts to come together and the picture starts to provide some clarity. Then we do check down power rankings. I will say straight up before we even start that this check down power rankings is the most football guy check down power rankings that we've done. And that's even last week. She's not Billy Bush's sister. She's not Billy Bush's sister. I apologize. That is hilarious, though. Billy Bush scumbag. That would make her one of the Bush. That would make her a Bush. And ain't nobody in the Bush family looking like that. No, Rachel Bush is the girl that LeBron slid into her DMs like 2 years ago. We were like, what? Worth it? And then she ended up marrying a safety for the Buffalo Bills. He wasn't on the Bills before, but now he's on the Bills. So we got our very football-heavy check-down power rankings. We're at the wrong end of the silly spectrum on that one. Then we talk about our matchups for today, which is like, it's mega matchups, but I rewrote the segment, so it's more like why this isn't a good Sunday. I changed the schedule at the last minute because I've been up all morning. I've been up. We talk about our gambling angles. I have a couple of really nice totals, and I haven't started to dig into player props, but there are a few that I really, really like and want to take a look at. Then we'll do players I'm high on, right? These are becoming regular segments. Players I am getting high on and hot and ready. If you don't know what that is, what, a Little Caesars hot and ready pizza, $5. Wow, $5. Is it good? Is it tasty? I said it's hot and it's ready. And we have a player this week in hot and ready that can go into a flex spot in deeper leagues less than 1% owned. Wow. A true diamond in the rough. Shout outs Aladdin. Shout outs live trailer debut. Shout outs Will Smith as the genie. Put those players in your pipe and get high on them. We're stuffing the bowl. We're stuffing the bowl. Hey, you know what was always funny growing up? Is when you'd be like, people be like, hey, this weed could be laced with other drugs. What drug dealer is giving away free drugs to get people sick on other drugs? That just seemed like the worst capitalistic marketing strategy to make your drugs supercharged with more expensive drugs. As I got older, that theory had held less and less water. I never understood it. I hope my neighbors can hear this one rant because they're walking dogs. And honestly, if there was ever a time to not have context for my show, that would be the absolute worst time. But this is what we talk about tonight. As always, we start Sunday by talking about Thursday. Listen, the Giants got shithoused. There's nothing more I can say about it. It's honestly super, super duper dicey, but it's super dicey, but at the same time, we need to fix the Giants. I lost a good amount of money thinking the Giants were going to rally in that game. Eli had a great matchup against the Jim Schwartz defense. What happened was the Eagles' defensive line really showed up to play. And Eli has not had his quick release this season. And you saw by the end of the game, all they could do was run screens and draws to Barkley. All they could do was get it out quick because the defensive line was crushing the offensive line. Do you guys know Nate Solder's the highest paid tackle in football? Interesting. Really interesting. Food for thought that you want to vomit. That's what we call that. Food for thought that you want to vomit. So Thursday night was ugly. I do think that the Eagles are in good shape. I'm like schwitzing. Showering before the show is such a dicey scenario. I'm like super uncomfortable. I might pop. I might pop the shirt, man. I'm still gonna sweat though. That's the thing. It's like a full. It's not a means to an end. Yesterday was a rough betting day. Lots of upsets in college football. I saved my betting day by pounding. I'm a beast. Thank you for subscribing to the Boom YouTube channel. Even if you're not watching on the Boom app, holler at your boy. Our YouTube subscriber counts are climbing. We're about to hit 150 subs. Bunch of college upsets. I scraped my day with my favorite bet of the baseball playoffs. No score first inning. We hit it in Dodgers, and then we doubled it and shipped it on the Red Sox. And that was a dicey first inning, Astros-Red Sox. But we got that done, and we ended up salvaging a pretty rough start to the gambling weekend. Did I just turn all the light out in my room? How does that work? Does that look okay? Light adjusted? Yeah, that's fine. That's pretty good. So if you got two strong pitchers, or especially like if the weaker pitcher is at home, like we had with Miley and Ryu in the Dodgers game, no score first inning is always a good value in my opinion. You got to deal with the top three hitters, but just like the crowd noise and the nerves and how difficult it is to score a run, I like that bet. However, we got Astros Red Sox tonight. There are single game contests on Boom, obviously. I just want to see what time that game is. I think it's at 4, which makes for an awesome sports day. Oh, it's at 7. Still awesome, because we're going to have Astros Red Sox and Chiefs Pats on at the same time. That's Price, right? That's David Price. We love it. So we won't be taking that with David Price on the mound. Stringer could take him deep, like right off the bat. So if it's Cole Price, I'm going to pound the Astros tonight and try to save my week. I might do an Astros-Chiefs parlay to close the day because I feel really good about the Chiefs going into New England. They are slow on defense, and that is the absolute worst thing you could be against the Chiefs, who are so fast on offense. So fast. So I think that's a matchup problem. Yes, I fear the Chiefs' defense against the Patriots' offense, but listen. It's just going to be an up and down game. I like the Chiefs to score more than the Pats. That's how I like that. Yeah, we fade David Price. We wake up fading David Price. And then we go to sleep fading David Price. We fade out, we fade in on David Price. It's got to be tough as a Red Sox fan losing the sales start and then coming around knowing that you got to deal with Price in game 2 after pretty much burning most of your bullpen, at least your good bullpen. Man, Brandon Workman looking at 108 postseason ERA after Gurriel hooks a short porch dong. That was devastating, had under 7. But not a great result for the Red Sox, and really puts them behind the ball in this series. They needed game 1, and now they're really up against it. If there's any vulnerability in the Astros, it is their bullpen. But if Verlander's going to do that, you're not going to get to it. You're not going to get to it in time. And you see by that time, the Astros have 7. In the time it took for the Red Sox to get in an advantageous position with their batting order, the Astros had hung 4 runs on the board, which is amazing. Hope the Sox get swept. Yeah, I can see it. The Astros not only have the Red Sox number, the Astros are the best team in baseball. Like, the Red Sox won more games. Great. The Astros are the best team in baseball. The Astros had more injuries than the Red Sox this year. The Astros played in a tougher division. I mean, the Red Sox got to beat up on the Rays are pesky, but it was a mega down year for the Blue Jays, and the Orioles were probably the worst team in baseball. So the Red Sox got to go to 100 and something wins by beating up on their own division. AL West is pretty crowded for them Astros. Texas can play. Seattle had a really nice season. So yeah, I totally understand. And Verlander. Yeah, talk about Verlander. Can we get that pic of Verlander? I'm going to see if I can Google Verlander in the mirror without getting NSFW'd here. Someone, oh my God. Someone put this up and was like, feeling, what was that meme that's like, feeling cute, might delete later? Open image in new tab because I'm getting, this could be dicey for me. Open image in new tab. This image is called Verlander-creepy.jpg. Feeling cute, might delete later. This dude's a stud. Is there any more studly dude? Feeling cute, IDK, might delete. Is there any more of a boss man than Justin Verlander? This dude is a Hall of Famer. Like, this is your Hall of Famer. Rocking that's an iPhone 4. Feeling cute, might delete later. This shit had me dying last night. I mean, there's another one where him and Upton are doing the prom pose and they're absolutely buck naked, and that's how you know that Verlander has an absolute hammer. But seeing this on my timeline last night, this is if this is a dad bod, this is apex dad bod. This is a dad bod Hall of Fame. It's perfect because it's like hardly even showing any. It's not like a dirty picture. Tanner's in the YouTube chat. Dude plows. He can't get the Boom app to work where it's an ongoing process. But yes, dude does in fact plow. I just want to see something quick. Verlander pro ref and Verlander Upton dating. I just want to make sure that those things are aligned. Him becoming dominant with them starting dating. 1 month later, so this is early 2014. So they started dating in early 2014. And okay, so 2014 is wow, this is actually lit. 2014 is so baseball's the whole calendar year. That's something important. So it's like early 2014. That means the season hasn't started yet because baseball is the only sport that is contained within a 12-month calendar. Run tell that. That's also why the baseball games their years were always a year behind, because Madden 07 would be for the 06-07 season. So you'd have Madden 07 and the show 06 come out in the same year because baseball's in one calendar year. Okay, so 2014, the year they met, he was in Detroit, 206 innings and a 4.5 ERA. But look at after that. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Yep. One more zoom, baby. Hit me with one more zoom. Might be a little tough to read, but as you can see, he just got better. Like, he had some rough years, and he had like a nasty year, but post 30, this dude absolutely mashed with Upton by his side. And then the best part is, since becoming an Astro, dude, 1.06 and a 2.52. He's got a 2.32 ERA as a Houston Texan, as a Houston Texan, Jesus. Like, that's outrageous. And that's how we start with 23 minutes of baseball talk on the Checkdown, the #1 fantasy football show on the internet. That is hilarious. I got a stupid Hinge message in the middle of the... Don't you know I'm doing an internet show? I got a great Hinge message last night. Did I tell you guys about this? You guys want to hear about this? Someone tell me in the chat if you want to hear about the Hinge messages I got last night, and I'll read you the full chat log because I have no shame. What is this? Oh, this is Buffer. I'm in the wrong app. I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. Shout out to Airplane. We got to get into some segments. We can check in on our boy Rosen. We got power rankings at 11:30. Oh my God, I forgot to show you guys something. Hold up. This is going to make an appearance in the last hour, but I just want to show you this now while I got it. Hold on. Y'all know what the fuck this is? Y'all know what this is? This is the start of something magical. This is the start of something beautiful. This is a mistake on the Boom Company credit card. You want something what's in this. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing. There are 9 autographed jerseys in this box. 9. And we might do a little unboxing later. I haven't opened it. I have not yet broken the seal. I was saving it for this exact moment. Not this exact moment, but today, you know. So that's hanging. It's lit. It's real. This ain't no hype train. This is a real thing. Never taking Giants money line again. All in on Herbert. Yeah, we're all about that. That's fully understandable. Memester now rocking a cool 1-5 on Giants money line this season. Hey man, you gave it a good shot. Tanner in the chat, agreeable to say the least. Man, that Verlander picture, that is phenomenal. Let's talk a little revisionist history because there were matchups early in the season. What's in the box, baby? 9 autographed jerseys from Pristine Auctions. Do you know how to get in on the box? That's a whole nother question. Do you know how to get in on the box? Because it's pretty simple, man. The Boom Box is how you get hooked up for watching Boom Fantasy live streams. All you got to do is deposit. Oh, my God. Spoilers, Mark. All you got to do is deposit into your Boom account while watching Boom Fantasy live streams. It's Halloween. Why not? And send your deposit screenshot to me, Rick at boomfantasy.com, verified. You're going to get hooked up with Boom Apparel, Boom Swag, one of those beautiful autographed jerseys in the box, and a rando bobblehead. Sup, Rick? Need one for flex. AP, Demarius, and Lockett. Wow. Not AP. I'm off Peterson today. He totally popped his shoulder back in on Monday Night Football. And while that's nice and he says he's good to go, that means he 100% has a torn labrum. And I'm off of that. I haven't been on Peterson all year. So it comes down to Demarius and Lockett. I am seeing Demarius' targets reduce with the emergence of Cortland Sutton as a big play threat, but he's in a dream matchup against the Rams. I'm worried a little bit about the snow, and it could be a run-heavy game, especially when you see the Rams show vulnerabilities to interior ground game. But the fact that there's going to be snow and no wind in that game means that I think people are just going to be like scared of it, and there's going to be high potential for points. Always get in the box. Hey, Marky Fucks, family show. Tyler Lockett's a really intriguing option because the Raiders had to bench Gary and Conley because he was so bad. That was their rookie corner that they really expected to do a lot of work for them this season. And Lockett has proven himself to be the real deep threat. My biggest issue there is Russell Wilson only completed 13 passes against the Rams last week. He's got a hamstring injury, they're saying. It's kind of like on the DL. And the problem with that is that's going to really, hamstring's an appropriate word because Russell Wilson is so pivotal to what the Seahawks want to do on offense, and losing him and losing his duality is a huge step back for that offense. However, Lockett is now the number one receiver. He's completely become the big play guy that Russell Wilson trusts. For me, Demarius is your basement play and Lockett is your ceiling play. If you're playing against, if you played against Saquon already, Jeff, I got no problem with you going Lockett. If I had to choose, I think I would probably stick with Demarius because his targets are still high. Marcus Peters is the number one most vulnerable corner in all of football. He's given up 5 touchdowns this year. Missing Aqib Talib is really, really hurting the Rams. So Demarius would be my choice, but I do see the sizable upside in a guy like Tyler Lockett. So guys, make sure you check out the Boom Box. You're already on the Boom Fantasy app, so there's no point in not throwing some money in your account, sending me the screenshot deposit, and enter to win some autographed gear from Pristine Auction. It just seems like a great deal to me. Because like the jerseys cost a lot, and the deposit is not a lot. So it seems like you're getting a lot for not a lot, and that seems like a good deal. But yeah, Adrian Peterson had a really nice week 1, and I don't think it's ever going to get back to that point. I don't like the Redskins, although I do think they have a really nice get-right game against the Panthers this week. They were really bad on Monday night, and I understand that. That game was tailor-made for Drew Brees. But they also had serious miscommunications in the secondary that led to Josh Norman getting benched. Tariq Cohen over Lindsey in my flex PPR. I kind of like Lindsey this week. If there's a way you could get them both involved, could see Cohen struggle against Miami for some reason. Some reason is definitely logical, but I think Cohen's in a much better spot than Jordan Howard. Miami's not great at covering backs out of the backfield. And that's going to create some problems, especially with Kiko Alonso. If Matt Nagy can get Cohen matched up on Kiko Alonso, the Bears are going to have some real success there. Cohen is getting more involved. Is there a minimum deposit? Nope. Get in there. Enter, get in there. I want to see you deposit. I want money in your Boom account. I want you playing. So if you could get Cohen and Lindsey in your full PPR lineup, I think that's fine. I know like Cohen is a really volatile play, but a really encouraging game against the Buccaneers where they were all over them. He was part of the game plan and he was a matchup problem. Whoa, Jeff Darlington is calling Ryan Tannehill doubtful. Excuse me while I pound the Bears real quick. That means Brock Osweiler. Whoa, that number's going to shoot. Go to your sportsbook and bet on the Bears right now. It's up to 5.5 already for me. Locked in. Locked in, Bears -4. Brock Osweiler is going to play against that defense? Brock Osweiler is going to play against that defense? Whew. If I wasn't schwitzing before, I've never ran in and shipped a bet so fast. Ryan Tannehill, doubtful with a shoulder injury, and you're going to put him up against that defense. So, yeah, I'm okay with this. What do you got here? Other two running backs are Sony Michel and Kareem Hunt. Well, I like Kareem Hunt, and Sony Michel has a decent matchup. I think that the stuff about Sony not practicing during the week, and if you listen to injury experts, Dr. David Chow, Pro Football Doc, that's more preventative maintenance for a guy that's had consistent problems. But the Patriots really like Sony Michel, and I think without Justin Houston, the Patriots can find some success in the front seven. I mean, the Chiefs have been a horrible rushing defense so far this year. So I wouldn't be surprised. Sony Michel and James White are both startable assets. So you can't start all four running backs, and it's Sony Michel, Kareem Hunt, Tariq Cohen, and Phillip Lindsay. Yeah, that's tough. If I had to have an odd man out, it would be Cohen. But Lindsay and Cohen are both in timeshares where they're going to lose work. So it becomes a matter of who's you. Swiss Chiefs, baby. Those Swiss Chiefs, they got lots of holes, and they got a big hole. Without Justin Houston, they already were struggling to rush the passer without him, or with him. He was like the big juice on the pass rush, and now without him, you're going to have Brady too much time. I want to show you guys something real quick. So I've been off Josh Gordon, mostly because of volatility and like target issues, but look at this. This is Tom Brady's Instagram. Tom Brady's Instagram has a tack with 3 pictures of Josh Gordon. Are you kidding me? Tom Brady is begging you to play Josh Gordon this week. Tom Brady is imploring you to play Josh Gordon this week. As someone that likes Chiefs money line, this Instagram post is horrifying. He's really good, Josh Gordon. And if Tom Brady starts to build trust in him, that's more like the stuff that we expected from Josh Gordon earlier this year. Dude. And he tags him in it? Like, what? 2 pictures this week of Brady? He got Brady's number tattooed on his back? I'm just kidding. I didn't know Josh Gordon had his number tattooed on his back. That is baller. That is extreme. Josh Gordon's kind of got a lit Instagram. I don't follow a ton of athletes. But 2 pictures with Brady, and then Brady putting the Gordon picture in. I'm not a doctor. I just think that it's part of the game plan. I think that it's probably something that they want to cover this year. Just thinking out loud, boys. Thinking out loud. Little things. I'm a narrative guy, right? I like Marshawn Lynch today for 2 reasons. 1, the Raiders threw an interception at the 1-yard line last week, a la Super Bowl, right? So Marshawn Lynch's squeaky wheel is in effect. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. 2, We got a Seahawks revenge game, man. I don't care if it's in London. We're going up against a weak Seahawks front that Todd Gurley scored 3 totes against last week, and Marshawn Lynch is going to get the goal line carries after a interception from the 1 yard line last week. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Technically, it isn't tattooed on his back. Oh, because it's like the outline? It's the only thing not tattooed? Is that what you're saying? I kind of get that. Check out that most rushing yards question for Boom on the early slate. I love Chris Carson in that matchup. I just think both teams are going to go to the ground in that game. The London games have been very intriguing for the last couple years. In the beginning, it was all like London low scoring. And then the games really started to break out. Sorry. I got to answer a couple texts real quick. I just think that both teams are going to lean on the ground game. And as far as Seattle, what we thought was a 3-man committee is actually a 2-man committee with Carson 60 and Davis 40, probably less, probably more like 65-35. And that bodes that bodes really well for Carson and really sucks for people that invested draft capital in Rashad Penny, who's literally like only playing special teams, which is crazy. Rick, so I bench Cooks because of the weather in Denver. So that's a little bit another interesting situation. So I think that it's worth talking about the weather. I said it earlier in the show, but the only thing that we really fear, because the only thing that has statistically affected point totals is wind, right? Cold weather and slippery weather has not shown to affect point totals historically. Overall, I'm sure there's game-to-game shenanigans. I watched the UCF Memphis game yesterday, and that game was pouring, and it definitely affected the total because the second half was so sloppy and the point total was 80.5. But nonetheless, cash it. So I would take Brandon Cooks off of the strength of what Robbie Anderson did to the Broncos last week. The Broncos' outside corners have been complete trash. Chris Harris is the best corner on the team. He's the slot corner. So if there's anyone I was going to devalue this week for the Rams, it would be Cooper Kupp. However, that offense is scoring 30 points a game. So I find it very hard to leave anybody on that roster on the bench. It just seems like you'd be foolish to bench a Ram at this point. Whether it be Cooks, Woods, Goff, Kupp, Gurley. Those 5 should probably be locked in week in, week out for the foreseeable future. They're averaging 30 points a game. What do we do here? I know the Rams team total is 29.5 for today. I'm thinking about smashing that too. I feel really good about this Bears bet. I mean, I liked the Bears earlier in the week, but was a little nervous about the production on offense and just the way the Dolphins can score snap long touchdowns. They have pretty solid special teams. But Brock Osweiler, man. Brock Osweiler without any first team reps in that offense. Show me my guy putting the ball in the dirt 10 or 15 times. I feel like I'm stealing money here. Watch the Dolphins win this damn game. I swear to God. There's no way Brock Osweiler beats a Khalil Mack defense. I'm telling you, right? I just don't understand a quick release, quick receiver offense. Like, how does Brock Osweiler fit into that? He's one of the worst statistical quarterbacks in the history of football. Yeah, Khalil Mack is getting laid today. Khalil Mack is making not only a depoy run today, he is making an MVP run today. Speaking of props and awards, I got to check in on the one prop I made at the FanDuel Sportsbook earlier this year. This is my stat, and this is my ticket. Here we go. This is Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen most receiving yards plus 1,500. I really liked it. I'm trying to get these Tannehill updates. Injury has worsened per Fox. Khalil Mack is not even not Khalil Mack. Keenan Allen, not even top 10 in receiving yards. He is not top 20 in receiving yards. He is not top 30. Oh, there he is. 28th with 372 receiving yards. He is a full 200 plus yards off the pace. So I'm getting ready to eat this thing. Keenan Allen, we aren't really talking about him as a bust, but oh God, has he been a massive disappointment. This was a dude that was easily going top 15, guaranteed top 25, 75 yards a game, and has scored once through 6 games. Only 32 catches. Brutal. And if we sort by catches, that makes him just as average. 15th in catches. Golden Tate is having a better catch year than him. But, DeAndre Hopkins, Adam Thielen, Julio, those are your yards leaders. So I'm getting ready to eat this. I think I might have this for Thanksgiving dinner. Whoa, sorry, guys. If we get to the Thanksgiving special and this is like 500 yards off pace, I will brew up a gravy live on the air and douse this in it and eat it. I don't know if I could eat dry paper like I said I would last year with Burkhead. If you're new to the show, last year after week 1, I said Rex Burkhead would score 6 touchdowns or I would eat a picture of his face. He had a awesome end to the season and finished with 7 touchdowns. I avoided that. But this is a different beast because this doesn't even seem like it's going to be close. For what it's worth, I asked Michelle this week if his knee was all good, and he simply responded, yeah. Ryan Tannehill not expected to play. Woo! What? Oh, the Friendsgiving special. Listen, we did Friendsgiving on the laptop last year. It was kind of a laggy disaster. We filmed something, but I really feel like I should spend all day in the Boom app, Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday is Friendsgiving, and Wednesday is Friendsgiving, Thursday is Reelsgiving. So Wednesday I usually shoot something for Thursday, but what I'll do probably is Wednesday go live to tape. We'll shoot something and go live, and then we'll publish it on Thursday. So if you're hanging out on Thursday, you want to watch me make a turkey. What did I make last year? Last year on stream, I did a DFS breakdown of all 3 games with Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports while making a turkey, a stuffing, a gravy, a casserole, green bean casserole. It was like green bean casserole, but it wasn't. I can't remember. I think it was like a French onion soup thing. I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. I remember it was fire. It was like a vegetable, but it was like it got demolished. I remember. I think it was green bean casserole. I think it was French onion green bean casserole. I think is what it was. Absolute fire. And that was like 4 or 5 dishes. Mashed potatoes were in there too. I mean, gravy's easy, but basically what I did for Thanksgiving, for Friendsgiving, because here's what happened. I was working like crazy a couple years ago, couldn't do Friendsgiving, got invited last year. I was like, all right, what do you guys do for turkey? They said, well, nobody wanted to make a turkey, so we just bought a bunch of rotisserie chickens. That shit don't fly for me. That's a no-fly zone for your boy. I refuse to eat rotisserie chicken on Thanksgiving. And I got my family Thanksgiving this year. It was like, hey, we're going to our uncle's for family Thanksgiving. My uncle's a shit cook. Sorry if you're watching. Not sorry at all. Family show. Not my family. My family doesn't watch a show. My mom does. We're gonna go with just a turkey breast because nobody ever eats turkey. Fuck that. So hard. Family show. But you need your dark meat and you need to cook the turkey so you can get drippings and make gravy. You stew-nod. I will not eat powdered gravy. I will not eat only white meat. I have standards on Thanksgiving and I will make sure. The best part about this is what happens is my Friendsgiving now dunks on my family Thanksgiving because I just get free culinary reign. And if I get all my work done, like professionally, I just get to bang out in the kitchen for 4 hours and it's going to far eclipse what my actual family is capable of. Mwah. So what we did last year is we used a what's going on, Hector? Thanks for the subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching in the app, Hector, thanks for getting down with Boom Fantasy. Again, early slate advice video up and posted, and we're growing. Our YouTube channel's growing, and by the playoffs, we'll be doing streams back on Boom on our YouTube channel. So it'll be super lit. World Series odds updated. Okay, so what I did last year is I looked up Gordon Ramsay Christmas turkey because it's going to be better than Thanksgiving turkey. Gordon Ramsay had a special Christmas turkey. What he did is he made an herb butter with fresh herbs. Then he got under the turkey skin, and that's where he took like a spreader, like the things that you use, the spreaders, and he put it under the skin and just forced the butter between the meat and the skin, smoothed it out up top. Then you lay the bacon over the top. You make a bacon headdress for your turkey so that when you put it in the oven, it just drips down and keeps the turkey moist. So it's like a baste within a baste. And you're just filling the bottom with bacon drippings so that when you baste, you get turkey and bacon drippings. Added flavor on all your basting needs. Makes your gravy absolute fire. I almost messed up the gravy. I dropped a whole Vidalia onion in it last year. It was fire. Little extra oniony, but I like that. And other than that, we just smashed it. It was really not even close to my family Thanksgiving. In terms of vegetables, sides, the actual turkey itself, it was a full smash. And I intend to do it again this year, and I intend to do it live. Not everyone can do it like I got it. Ain't everybody got it like I got it. That's just the way it is. So I have no problem doing 4 hours live cooking for Friendsgiving, because it really, if I'm not necessarily talking, it's action, about that action. But what happens is I don't want to use my laptop because I'll have it's like a set camera. Ideally, I would like to have my webcam and then have it like on a stick so I can position it in various spots in the kitchen, or have it on my head like a miner's hat and do like Rickrovision, where it's me chopping and dicing, going in and out of the oven, and then I'll have like a mirror, like I'm riding a bicycle. This thing's coming together on the fly real quick. This thing's coming together real quick. So Friendsgiving, what's that? 6 weeks? 7 weeks? Fire. All I ask is that you reimburse me. I'll cook for you all day. Let me eat, reimburse me. I'm all up in your kitchen. So now that the first hour is gone and we've talked about baseball and Thanksgiving, two of the absolute pillars of the fantasy football season, let's get into this discussion that I wanted to have about ifs, the biggest what ifs heading into the season and what we talked about. So one of the biggest questions going into the season was the health and status of Andrew Luck. And as the season's progressed, there's a spectrum of confidence in Andrew Luck, because that confidence can be mitigated by data. Because Andrew Luck is throwing the ball with his surgically repaired shoulder that took over a year more than anyone in the league. I think he's on pace to break the attempts in a season record. Prolific passing pace. Yards per attempt, way down. So passing more, getting less. The team also doesn't have a strong run game. Their defense is banged up, so they're constantly playing from behind. And that only exacerbates the problem, right? So I took the risk. I waited at Andrew Luck, grabbed him in a couple leagues, and I'm mostly happy with the results. However, I've begun seeking contingency because it doesn't feel like a sustainable volume for the hits he's taking and the lack of run game. It just feels like it's not going to be something he can keep doing. He can't throw 50 balls every game, but if he can, bless up. They get their left tackle back. Anthony Costanzo is going to return and start for the Colts today. Hasselbeck says on Sunday NFL Countdown that the Giants should trade Eli Manning to the Jaguars. With all due respect, Matt Hasselbeck, fuck you. And I mean that with all due respect in the most family of family shows. Go fuck yourself. Family show. What's that going to do for Jacksonville? So he can sweat more while he skips balls 3 yards down the field? Honestly, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. That is one quarterback brotherhood sticking up for another quarterback brotherhood. How can you watch Eli Manning and blame the defense? The receivers? I'm sorry, do the Jaguars have a better line? Because they just signed Eric Flowers. So you're literally going in circles, you fucking clown show, family show. Tanner with the perfect emojis. It's actually ridiculous that you would get on. This is why the checkdown is getting more popular than ESPN. ESPN NFL countdown ratings are in decline. The checkdown on Boom Fantasy's ratings are on the rise. And it's because of shit like this, Matt Hasselbeck. To the for what? What are the Jaguars going to give up that the Giants are so desperate for? That the Jaguars are desperate to acquire Eli Manning. Blake Bortles passed for 400 yards last week. Eli Manning hasn't passed for 400 yards in the Trump presidency. And that's not a political statement. That's just a November 2016 statement. I refuse. Absolutely bonkers. Makes no sense. Why would anyone pick up Flowers? Because the Jaguars lost their tackle Cam Robinson for the year, and then they filled him in with wow, we just got a deposit for the boombox. So I don't know if you heard me say, but I said if we got a boombox, I would pop my shirt for the first hour. So hide your wife, hide your kids. We're getting naked. Weren't they pushing that same agenda last year? Yeah. Eli to the Jaguars has been the narrative. All right? Mark, thank you so much for depositing to the boombox. If you don't know about the boombox, it is how you get rewarded for getting down with Boom Fantasy live streams, okay? All you have to do is deposit into the Boom account you're already using. You're already on your Boom account to watch this show. Send a deposit, screenshot, rick@boomfantasy.com. Thank you, Mark. Mark, you also get an emoji on the board, so think about your best emoji, take into account my limited artistic talents, and get up on that MF board. What warrants a pop shirt? I missed it. We're depositing into our Boom account. We're signing up for the Boom box. I will sell my body for Boom Fantasy deposits. You will get official Boom apparel to cover up your naked body. You will get Boom swag. Autographed jersey from Pristine Auctions. Don't make me crack that box. I swear to... If you're late to the show today... We popped off at Pristine Auctions. This is so real. This is for you. This is my gift to the Boom Fantasy live stream viewers. And you want to get down with it. Can you see it? Can you see it? Pristine Auctions all up in your face. And you get a random bobblehead. But this is how we do it. All right? This is an exchange of knowledge and information. And I want to reward you for taking part of that exchange. Right? So we'll go 7 more minutes and then we'll put some clothes on. But seriously, there is amazing gear inside that box and you need to deposit into the account you're already using to join up. Let's do a quick, while I'm here, let's just do a Josh Rosen update, right? Because that's what everyone always asks me for. They say, Rick, how's your son doing? I say, you know what, Sharon? He's great. Thanks for asking. But Josh Rosen, despite throwing 2 touchdowns in his first 2 starts, has not had an ideal start to his NFL career. And one of the reasons is his team's not very good, right? So the biggest one is they're not getting enough first downs, right? And it's part Rosen's inconsistency, but his receivers are not making plays. Chad Williams is not good. Larry Fitzgerald is banged up. Larry Fitzgerald is banged up to the point that they actually signed Kendall Wright this past week. Like, the Fitzgerald injury is really being played down, but Fitzgerald plays everything in the slot, and Kendall Wright's a career slot receiver. So, by the looks of it, they're looking to phase out Larry Fitzgerald because he's literally just hurt. So that's a problem, because they're putting that defense on the field and stressing them out. And I liked the Cardinals' defense last week. I thought they had a really good matchup. They ended up scoring really well. They had a bunch of sacks, and they got a couple of turnovers. Tanner says Fitzgerald's droppable in all formats. I think in 12 and 14 team leagues, he's worth holding on to on name alone, but he hasn't eclipsed 40 yards this season, so he's absolute non-factor. Rosen did a much better job at feeding David Johnson last week, but it's still not enough, and it's still too much inside. It's so basic, and it lacks creativity. And that's my biggest knock on the entire Arizona offense, is a lack of creativity. But David Johnson needs the ball in space, and ramming him up the middle is not what I want to see. Rosen is doing really well in completing deep passes. His deep ball has looked as good as any rookie to come out this year. 2 long touchdowns, multiple missed opportunities by receivers. He is leading. He's right up there in the league leaders in completed air yards. So when he puts air under the ball, there's a good chance that it's going to come down and it's going to be a big play for his team. His yards per attempt is terrible. His actual yards gained per passing attempt is not very good. He's yet to break 200 yards as an NFL starter, which is crazy considering he had a 75-yard touchdown last week. So last week he opened the game with a 75-yard touchdown and then failed to reach 200 yards. So there is concern there. The funny thing is, Josh Rosen and Josh Allen have semi-comparable numbers through whatever, their rookie seasons. The difference is Josh Rosen is leading in completed air yards, right? Josh Allen is like leading the league in air yards, but is nearly dead last in completion percentage. So he's chucking it with no success. At least Rosen is taking shots and converting, and that's what gives people hope that he'll be a viable quarterback. And that's what I want to talk about, is completed air yards, is when he can get the time and execute the throw. He's making the plays at a rate as good as any starting quarterback in football right now. So the ceiling is established. The talent is obvious. We're just looking for more consistency and better play from his skill position players. Did you guys hear Mike Gundy this past week? So one of the big talks in football, right, at least online this past week, has been Josh Hermsmeyer. He's an NFL analyst that doesn't play fantasy. He just likes to talk about the data of football. And he tweeted, not in just one blunt tweet, but with a bunch of stuff last week, that defenses don't matter, right? And that's through going through tons of data. And it calls back to an earlier era in fantasy baseball, where we just started getting lots and lots of data and we're figuring out what's the most important. And fantasy baseball analysts would say pitching doesn't matter. This is because we're talking about the quality of hitting and the quality of offenses, that good offenses are always going to get theirs. And it's more about execution and more about consistency than it really is about the opposing defense and scheme. And I think a lot of fantasy analysts challenged Josh, and they were right in saying that that's kind of just a gross generalization. But it is worth thinking about in terms of your matchups and how you play fantasy. We say start your studs, and that's essentially the same logic, is that a superior talent is always going to produce in the league. Start your studs, defenses don't matter. It was really interesting. But then it talks, as the week progressed, it was defenses don't matter. Then it was Saquon at number 2 was a horrible decision. Then it was Saquon at number 2 can be validated because, oh my God, look how good it is. Mike Gundy had this quote. We'll finish this segment and then we'll play the theme song. I gotta blow my nose. Mike Gundy had this quote last week. He said, if you think a balanced offense is 50% run and 50% pass, you are 50% stupid. He said, in my mind, a balanced offense is one where your 5 skill position players all get equal share of the ball, equal share of production. If you're running 50% run, 50% pass, you're giving one guy, your running back, 50% of the workload. How is that balanced? Something to think about, right? These football minds, these cutting edge football analytical minds, the offensive geniuses in the football landscape, they are who we follow. Think about the best coaches in the league, except for the outliers. Think about if they're offensive minded or defensive minded. I'll play the theme song. You think about that. Mark, if you're still in the chat, you need to come up with an emoji that I could draw on the board. No Spurs logo. It was a disaster last year. It's true. ESPN doesn't even have. Tell me what the Sunday NFL Countdown theme song is. I will wait. They don't have one. It's better than Are You Ready for Some Football? Like, it's up there. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like the new Sunday night song. I like I've been waiting all day for Sunday. That was my jam because I was in most situations. Dolphins average 52 plays per game and have the slowest seconds per snap with Ryan Tannehill. They may run 35 plays today. Bears -4. Bears -4. What do you think that line is at right now? That line is getting steam. That could finish at 7. You're replacing Tannehill with Brock Osweiler. You're replacing anybody with Brock Osweiler. You're replacing a dirty mop with Brock Osweiler. Shimon. Oh, I got to do my pick'em. I have all home teams picked. It's up to 6.5. Just so we're clear, it was like 4.5 to 5 this morning. So we are flooding in money. Game details. Last night was one of the reasons that you got to pay attention to the sharps and the public betting. We talk about this all the time. Percentage of bets is the public. Small wagers, lots of tickets. Percentage of money is the sharks. Fewer bets, lots of money. Right? So when that number doesn't align, that means that the sharps are way higher on a team than the average tourist casual gambler betting public. And that happened with Michigan last night. Ton of tickets on Wisconsin plus 9.5. Over 60% of the money, nearly 65% of the money was on Michigan minus 9.5. And Michigan ended up blowing them out because the sharps know better. They have advanced computer models. They have more statistics. They have more resources. And they play less. They're not here just for action like a Vegas tourist. If I'm in Vegas and I see the board, I'm like, yo, let me take Wisconsin getting points. That sounds great. The sharp is spending all week doing research on this game. You know, just saying. Something to think about, food for thought as we enter heavy gambling season. NBA starts this week. Baseball playoffs. Hockey's in full swing. College football. This is primo degenerate gambling season. Be safe with your bankrolls. Be smart. And the most important thing is follow the money. Like I just said. If sharps are on it, sharps are on it. You're taking it. One of my popular fades I have a smash first half bet that we have to talk about. Sorry, I forget about these things. So, as far as the picks that I've been giving on this show, admittedly not the strongest. I wish I could say I've been out here crushing. It just hasn't been the case. But I'm starting to find edges, and I'm starting to get more confident in who teams are, and that's going to lead to more effective plays in the future. Let's go through some box scores. This is the Titans, right? Week 1, Titans-Dolphins, first half, 10 total points. Let me just make sure this shows up nice on YouTube. Yeah, close enough. Week 2, Titans-Texans, 21 points, and one of these scores was the Titans falling on a fumble in the end zone. So, not a legitimate touchdown as far as gambling is concerned. They didn't drive the field. Week 3, 6-point first half, 9-6 total. Week 4, a game that pushed the over at 49 total points with 9 overtime points, 13 points in the first half. Are you with me here? Last week, Titans-Bills, 13-point first half. Titans first half under is trending so strong that I have already shipped multiple units on it. And it's a 4 o'clock game. Usually I don't touch the 4 o'clock games until 3:30 when I'm tilting, because that's when I can be my most reckless self. Sorry, guys. But that just seems like such a strong bet against a Ravens team that is also lights out on defense. And these are two teams that are good in defense and are not big play offenses per se. So the only thing that's going to really screw that total is interceptions, mistakes. And so I'm only worried about the Titans throwing picks, because Marcus Mariota has a reputation for getting balls tipped at the line of scrimmage. He's got a low release. And the Ravens are number 1 in the NFL in balls tipped at the line of scrimmage. That's a stat right there. You're welcome. That's a heady stat. Oh, I hear myself. Trying to get chat up. Multiple avenues so we can go live on other platforms. There it is. Come on now. Come on now. That line's up to 7, Scott. Damn. That is actually crazy. Wow, what a stat. Yeah, no. I mean, it's part of the reason Mariota is struggling in the NFL is he leaves plays on the field. When you do stuff like that, you get balls batted down. Those are completed passes that fall dead. And tips in general are like the most negative plays because they can turn into easy interceptions. Tip balls are generally a disaster, and Marcus Mariota throws more than anybody. Lineup set. Time to find some shit to keep me busy. Let's just go live on Twitter. We're going live on Twitter. A lineup advice and sit start week 6. We're going to do this until 11:30 when we get we got our power rankings. They are the most football power rankings we've done in 2.5 years of check down. So, you know, buckle it up. Buckle it. I'm blowing up on Kevin Gates style. I got 2 phones. So speaking of singing, we had a friend on last week, our friend Rob, to give football picks and analysis. He was horrible. He made Joel's kid cry. Just to show my loyalty to the check down audience, I have not one time spoken to him since Sunday. Just so we're clear. Because my loyalty is to the check down and to you guys and to Boom Fantasy. And you don't come on the show and talk about Eric Flowers as a Giants player. That don't make no sense. Fantasy football lineup advice. We'll do a segment too. Sit. I mean, I didn't get through this decision segment. Oh, boo! What's up, Scott? What are you booing at? I missed the boo. Can you believe there's a London game at 1 o'clock today? I'm pretty excited about that, actually. London games are horrible for the check down. Horrible. Nobody wants to watch. I don't want to do a show when there's actual football on. Like, I always want to do a show because I'm a narcissist and I love looking at myself for 3 hours, especially now that I got 3 screens. But I don't want to do it. I want to watch football just like everybody else. So hopefully we can all watch football together and enjoy that when the London games start up earlier in the season. What's going on, Twitter? What up, Twitter fam? It's at the Rick Rosen, repping Boom Fantasy on the check down. This is our 3-hour live stream currently running on the Boom Fantasy app. Y'all got to be in there. You just ain't getting it. We got $1 million contests, jackpot slates for the early slate, late slate, prime time. Every single game has its own jackpot contest. Why would you want to be anywhere else? Hey, Zach, thanks for getting back on. Yep, I got you, Zach. Android, I got the hookup. Send me a message. Figure out how to watch the show. But I want you to be watching on the Boom DFS app, especially you, Twitter fam. In the meantime, I will take any questions on the Twitter space, but you should be in the app. That is where the quality content lives. That is where our strategy video lives for our early slate $1 million top prize. We got a question like most receiving yards: Julio, Mike Evans, AJ Green, or Antonio Brown. That's a banger. That's got 3 of the best receivers in football. You know what I mean? But if you get 8 questions right, you'll be a millionaire today. And that's way greater chances of winning that than any Millie Maker. TBH, just saying. If you're a DFS player, Boom is a much more profitable outlet for you consistently. I got thoughts. That's what they are. We started talking about the biggest decisions that we had to make going into the fantasy season and doing a little revisionist history. Now that we're at the 6-week point, we can start collecting data, making conclusions. We talked about Andrew Luck. I think another one of the biggest discussions of the offseason was Thielen or Diggs, right? Because you couldn't draft one. What's going on, Jago? You couldn't draft both. You had to choose between Thielen or Diggs. And I think that both have paid off this year. Kirk Cousins is top 5 in attempts and dropbacks and loving in shotgun and distributing the ball really well. But Thielen and Diggs are both on pace for career years in terms of stats. So it turned out to be a right decision no matter where you went. But Thielen is the real winner out here. Red zone targets up, touchdowns up, yardage up, dominating the league, matchup nightmare week in, week out. And Diggs is still Diggs. He's had his big games. He has his blow up spots. So people saying Diggs over Thielen in the offseason, I was under the opinion that that was a lucrative stance to take. Mark, if you're in the chat, I still need you to put an emoji on the board for getting down with the Boombox. If you're on Twitter and don't know what that is, oh my God, you got to download the Boom Fantasy app, and that's how you really unlock the full live show experience, because we go live 10 to 1 on the Boom Fantasy app, and this is a free preview that I do for you on Twitter because I love you, me amo. Did I use the right words? It's te amo. I love you. Me amo is I love me, which is also true, but I really do love you. So that was a real big one. So Thielen or Diggs, the answer was both, right? But when it came to another question for the season, Derrick Henry or Dion Lewis, the answer ended up being neither, right? The Titans offense has been anemic to start the season. We just talked about them being a great first half under bet week in, week out. And part of that is their inconsistent offense. Derrick Henry, I believe, has not scored this year. Hey, what's going on, Christian? Hopping in on Twitter chat. Make sure you download the Boom Fantasy app. That's where the real metrics are. That's where the real graphics are. That's where the party's at. But Henry or Lewis was a neither. And speaking of another neither, Garcon and Goodwin was another duo where the fantasy community was split about which one was going to be the target. It was like, oh, Goodwin has great rapport with Jimmy G, but Garcon was hurt last year and is the better athlete. And it was a real toss-up between fantasy football community. And the answer was neither. Who would have thought? You should have gone Kenny Golladay. That was the answer. And I think the biggest debate of the fantasy season, and is still going to be one that I talk about week to week, because I think it reflects largely about how we approach fantasy, how we draft, roster build. We talked about who do you draft fifth in the draft, and that being a big Mayamo is my name. No, it's Mayamo. Zach on Twitter, what's going on, bud? We talk about who would you take fifth, because Johnson, Gurley, Zeke. Oh, we got a question on Twitter. Amari, Jordy, or Watkins, PPR. Seems like a really good spot for Amari Cooper. What's up, Zach? I see you. Jordy has been the most consistent, getting the most red zone targets. Amari Cooper is so frustrating. So if Watkins is healthy, I think he's in a great matchup. He had a hammy thing. Going into his last game, but still ended up being like very much fine. I think he had 7 for 86. I would much rather have Jordy. I can't believe I'm saying that. Jordy and Watkins. I mean, whichever Raiders receiver you ultimately choose, you're going to have to buckle up and just brace yourself for impact on that one. It's a dicey situation. 2 days this week, the dude next to me on the bus put a seatbelt on. I'm all for safety. But if anything happens on the bus, we're all dead. I don't care about your seatbelt. If something catastrophic happens to the bus, no amount of connected fiber is going to save you. Oh, you're welcome, man. Subscribe to our YouTube. Download Boom Fantasy. That's the app we're currently live streaming on all the way up until 1 o'clock kickoff. We're hanging out on Twitter till 11:30, and we're going to do power rankings. And you need the graphics for power rankings because you need to see the rankings. So you really should be in the Boom app at 11:30. That's all I got to say. Today's going to be an interesting day because I usually tilt super hard at around 1:05 p.m., right as the first couple scores are coming in. And instead what's going to happen is I'm going to shoot the Monday Night Football strategy video immediately after the show, which means that I will be unable to capture those first couple of touchdowns and those first couple of freakouts that happen as Red Zone is like, whoa, we're going here. We got an early turnover in this game. It'll be like 14-7 bucks by the time I finish doing the Monday Night Strategy video. But don't forget, on our YouTube channel, Sunday early slate, Monday millionaire slate, Thursday millionaire slate, waivers on Wednesday, guests coming in most every Friday. Basketball content is working its way out. I have a preview video with Nick Deus. We got a question on Twitter. Morris, McCoy, or Collins in flex, non-PPR. I got to go Morris there. Lions share of the workload in a plus matchup. I don't necessarily like McCoy, and Collins has been a real pain in my ass, but Morris is figuring to be the touch monster with Breda out in a good matchup against the Packers. Carry-On had a very nice game against them on Sunday, and Morris is doing it all. I mean, the whole point of Kyle Shanahan's new offense with CJ Beathard is they got to get the ball out fast. Since CJ Beathard took over the starting job for the Niners, he has the fastest release time in the entire league. It's under 3 seconds. He's getting rid of the ball and hitting his target. So that is a must-have for CJ Beathard, and it makes Alfred Morris a nice overall weapon. Absolutely. I'm here to confirm your gut, baby. You know what you're doing. You're a fantasy football winner. I'm your Sherpa. I'm here to give you water when you get thirsty. I'm here to confirm your gut when you get nervous. That's fantasy football. If you think I have all the answers, I don't have the playbooks. Speaking of playbooks, you guys heard about this with Geno Smith? I tweeted it on the Boom page earlier in the week. But I actually used this as silence a debate last night because we were talking about the whole McAdoo benching Eli for Geno. Brace yourself. I might actually go full screen on the Boom app for this. Boom app. Bring it in. 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 Come here. Focus. 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 Mark, if you're in the chat, I need your emoji for the emoji board. Geno Smith lost his playbook in the preseason last year and was too embarrassed to ask for a new one, and thus went nearly the entire 2017 NFL season without looking at his playbook. Carl Banks confirmed it on WFAN, in case you think I'm fake newsing. Geno Smith was too embarrassed to get a new playbook, and they're in iPads, right? So everyone knows when it was last accessed, when the iPad was last accessed. So everyone knew that Geno just wasn't looking at his playbook, which is insanity. But it turns out that he was ass. And he did not deserve to get started like that. They really did Eli wrong. Say what you want to say about Eli now, foreshadowing. But Geno wasn't going to get it done. Geno wasn't the answer. Geno wasn't part of the future plans. It was just to slight one of the greatest quarterbacks in franchise history. You just did it to be mean. There's no, we got to see what Geno's made of. Man, we know what Geno's made of, and he doesn't have a playbook. So frustrating. One of the best sports stories of the week. But ultimately, as a Giants fan who has a very strong inclination that you are a fan of a franchise that has no idea what they're doing, it's really disheartening to hear stuff like that. They are lost in the woods, my guy. They are struggling. Foreshadowing. Bad wide receiver 2 spot. Lockett or Cooper, non-PPR. I got no problem with Lockett there. Again, Russell Wilson's passing volume being down obviously hurts his value, but my guy is a deep threat. He really only needs to catch 2 passes to hit value for you, especially if you, I thought you said non-PPR, so it's really just about yards and totes. I don't feel great about the totes, but the Raiders have been getting beat deep. Gary and Conley got benched, their rookie corner. So there is, hold on, we got, with Adam Gase and Dowell Loggins running the Dolphin offense, there is nothing that Miami can do offensively that Bears DC Vic Fangio hasn't seen multiple times in practice from 15 to 17. That's so true. That's so true. I might double my Bears bet now. For sure going to throw you a follow. Appreciate it, man. Throw Boom DFS a follow. Download Boom Fantasy. If you download Boom Fantasy, Zach, and you DM me your username, I'll make sure you get a couple free entries in your account for Monday Night Football for Packers-Niners. That's for you hanging out with me. Appreciate you. That's great. Adam Gase was the Bears offensive coordinator, right? He with all those checkdowns to Forte, helped turn them into an average offensive team under John Fox, and then he left to Miami. So now you have the former offensive coordinator against the current defensive coordinator in a matchup that, you're right, they know exactly what the Dolphins offense is capable of. That's fantastic. Do I double the bet? I already have a money line tease, and I already have Bears -4 bought down from 6.5. So I really want to just pound Bears right now. Brock Osweiler likely starting for the Bears. Brock Osweiler. We have to realize and we have to attack, right? Like, Bears defense was already the most expensive DFS play on the board. Now they might be underpriced. Brock Osweiler versus Khalil Mack. Dangerous. Sean Howes, what's going on to the Twitter chat? I'm about to end this Twitter chat because I'm focusing on the stream and the chat and the audience over at Boom Fantasy. And you should do the same. It's a super lit DFS app. Let me know if you like it. DM me. I got some mentions in the chat we got to get to. I want the Hartford Whalers logo up there. Mark, that is so difficult, man. You're an asshole. Family show. Carson or Morris, PPR. I'm bullish on Carson this week, Armel. I think Carson is a better player than Morris at this point in their career, in a better system with a more favorable matchup. The Hartford Whalers logo. God damn. Safety first, then teamwork. Should we give Lauletta a chance? There was a clip of Shermer getting real frustrated with Manning during the game. See, that's different. Lauletta is a different result than Geno Smith. We knew what Geno Smith was prior to him being named the one-day starter over Eli last year. Lauletta's a different beast, man. Lauletta is a Richmond quarterback, a 5th-round pick with a quick release. That's why they like him. He's got a quick release who beat out Davis Webb in training camp. Lauletta needs to get a shot. It's not now, but in December. Oh, Matt Forte. We know about it. We had an interview with Matt Forte, and he the audio was messed up, but it was a pretty good interview. He's a pretty cool guy. And 204 yards away from 10K club. Definitely don't retire, my guy. Lauletta is a totally different situation than Geno Smith, and it is definitely worth exploring. The Giants' schedule over the next month is absolutely brutal, but I think when it softens up in the later months, you have to give Lauletta a chance. Falcons home to Washington, at 49ers, home to Tampa over the next 4 weeks. I think Lauletta has to play in the Tampa game. Home to Tampa on an early start, November, right before we do Thanksgiving against the Eagles, Bears, Redskins. So the counterpoint to that, CJ Uzomah or Vance McDonald. I'm a big Vance McDonald guy. They're both going to split snap share. I know Uzomah figures to be the lead dog in that offense, but there is a guy named Shrek. His name is actually Shrek for the Bengals. And he's a college guy. He's a rookie. Mason Shrek. He's a good blocker and is a pretty good athlete. We got a Shake That Bear reference in the chat. We're all about that life. Mason Shrek has a chance to steal targets from CJ Uzomah, and Vance McDonald, to me, is a much bigger big play asset. Tight ends have had decent games against the Bengals. Granted, those teams are going head-to-head, and I think that the Steelers' defense is really vulnerable, but Uzomah had all the workload last week and ended up with 2 for 40. So I'd just rather have a higher ceiling in McDonald. I hope you can understand. Shake that bear. Shake that bear. We will not put that clip up. Let's get the Hartford Whalers logo and see if we can't draw it on our emoji board. It'll take us right into power rankings at 11:30. Our most football-heavy power ranking. Thanks much. Greg Olsen, a full go today. So the funny thing about Greg Olsen is that he is active. He did this to us last year with the same foot injury where Olsen was declared active and then immediately shit the bed. 1 week, 2 weeks getting in the flow. 3rd week, he popped off. I think he had 9-106 and a tote, very close to that. And I think that that's what we're going to do this year with Olsen too. We're going to do a big old wait and see on that guy because I like Greg Olsen, but I think he's just as valuable to the Panthers just being on the field than he is as like a tight end weapon. More than raising Olsen, this week you're going to see a drop for like DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, all the auxiliary pieces in the Panthers offense. It's just going to be a great McCaffrey day. Well, we got a lot of ha-ha-has in this tweet. Hartford Whalers logo, not as hard as I thought it would be. We got a W and we got some wings on top. We'll put it back up there. My phone is not loading quickly. Hey, Christian, what's going on? Welcome back. What does this say? Josh Allen just asked Kelvin Benjamin if he wanted to work on routes pregame during warmups. Kelvin's answer, no. What? Let's get this tweet up big so people can see it. Are you fucking kidding me, family show? At Jenna Cottrell on Twitter. This is unbelievable. Josh Allen just asked Kelvin Benjamin if he wanted to work on routes during pregame warmups. Kelvin's answer, no. Tannehill is officially inactive. I'm going to leave that tweet up while I... He said no! We're waiting on Ebron's status. That's one of my big waits. I believe Benjamin goes before Shady. I don't think Shady goes anywhere. Shady's not going to get traded. Shady's not going to get traded. All right, it's 11:30 Twitter, so I love you, but you're getting kicked. You're getting the boot, baby. That's a solid 20-minute stream from your boy. Tension JB. Ask your question quick because I'm booting the Twitter live stream. It's only on the Boom Fantasy app from 10 to 1. I'm about to draw an emoji on the emoji board. That's what people get for depositing during live streams. They get on the emoji board. It's season 2. We got a pineapple. We got the Lombardi Trophy. It's lit. Waiting on Eric Ebron injury status. So pop in, pop out. Download Boom Fantasy, and we will see you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I said to another user before, thanks for watching our stream. Add me, add Boom DFS, download Boom Fantasy, and if you want to get in on a Monday night contest, DM me, and I'll make sure you get a free entry in your account. Okay? Love you guys. YQY, bye. Bow, swipe down. I can't figure it out. Twitter stream's lit. It's hard to look at all the different screens at the same time, but you can't tell me this Dalvin Cook inactive. Dalvin Cook out. Dalvin Cook inactive. Armel, get him out. That's crazy. This is why we do it, boys. This is why you got to be vigilant on Sundays. Wow, Latavius Murray, kind of a smash play. They aren't wings, it's a whale tail. Ha, whale tail. Latavius Murray's kind of a smash play today. If you have him, I kind of want to shake up a few lineups. No Dalvin Cook, Armel. I know. No, dude, I know. Trust me, I know. I'm just as upset as you. But luckily, I got some hot and ready, boys, if you want to get hot and ready with me. Let's get this Whalers logo up because it's taking way too long. But, yeah. Waiting on Ebron. That's the next big name for me. But Dalvin Cook being out is his workout was not enough to get him on the field. That is so sketch. As far as his future, Jesus Christ. Cameron Wake, arthroscopic knee surgery. Good God. Okay, so this is like there's like rectangles in here. Oh, okay. I did that wrong. We're starting over. Starting over real quick. I feel like I have a better green, but this is the green we're using. No, this green's fine. The thing about the Hartford Whalers logo is that the bottom is kind of like some cheeks. Cheeked up. Cheeked up on a Wednesday. I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. I'm really good at this. I'm really good at drawing things. Coloring, not always my best. Armel, talk to me about your prospects on the waiver wire. We got to find you a replacement. We got to find you a Dalvin Cook replacement. Hot and ready. Is it any good? Is the pizza good? I said it's hot and it's ready. We have a running back on hot and ready today that in ESPN leagues is less than 1% owned. I shit you not. And I don't even think it's not that crazy of a play. I would not play it unless it was an emergency and only as a flex. But I tell you what, if you need production, especially if it's PPR, this guy's not the worst ad. Like, you could do way worse. And it's not Jamal Charles, if that's who you're thinking of. Coleman, Cohen, and Eckler are my flex. Dude, you're fine. Eckler I'd worry about a little bit, but for the most part, you are very much fine. That's called you got a deep roster because your boy's a fantasy analyst. That's what that's called. I take good care of you. To answer your previous question, Mrs. Cook, can Dalvin come out and play? No. No. No, we can't. Oh, this is a whale tail, huh? Did you guys see LeBron get on stage at the Drake show last night and do sicko mode? You can tell so bad that LeBron wants that lifestyle. They say all the rappers want to be athletes and all the athletes want to be rappers. It's so true. It's so true. And none is it more true than Drake and LeBron. There's a couple of things. There's also on LeBron's new show, he's talking about, dude, It's so funny. I'm not even sure the context, but Drake and LeBron are having like a open discussion that's being filmed, and LeBron's like, "What did I tell you?" Talking about like repping people and like working hard and like always delivering, and Drake stutters through his words like he is talking to his mom. It's like, "What did I say?" And he's like, "You said that. You said that." You said that, and everyone was just clowning on Drake so hard. Like, dude, you cannot talk to LeBron like he's your dad. Like, you're fucking Drake, man. Be Drake. I think this is pretty good. Emoji boards, it's been a slow process in 2018, but I tell you what, we're getting there, and it looks artistically better than it's ever been. Oh, the cap's on the back. We are 5 minutes late for Power Rankings, which we're going to record this week and put on Twitter, I think. Whale tail, baby. How you like me now? How's that look, boys? Like a light. Oh, that's visible. Yeah, boy. You got prime real estate too. Speaking of Drake, do I put him or Taylor Gabriel in my flex PPR? Drake's got a tough matchup against that Bears defense with Brock Osweiler as his quarterback. So at this point in time, I would say that no Dolphin is playable this week. And I actually like Taylor Gabriel. I thought about him as a nice little flex option in deeper leagues. He is actually doing better in terms of air yards than like Allen Robinson. Like he's approaching top receiver volume on the Bears roster. Strange one here from Shred. Njoku, Brait, Kuti. I have to drop one from my roster. Oh, if I had to drop one, it would be Brait. No offense to Brait. I like him, and I like the rapport that he builds with Jameis Winston, but O.J. Howard's coming back from a knee sprain. O.J. Howard is the number one tight end on that team. I don't think they're going to be running a lot of two tight end sets, considering the verticality of Todd Monken's scheme. Ebron healthy. We love that. Greg Olsen is active. Njoku, I think, is about to pop off. He's seen his targets steadily rise. Let's pull this up. This Kelvin Benjamin not wanting to warm up is one of the funniest pregame tweets I've ever seen. No shit. How does NFL stats not have targets? Like, we don't care about that. That is so dumb. David Njoku. This is Baker at the halfway point, right? We are now at 18 targets in 2 games for Baker to Njoku. This is a healthy relationship that will grow stronger as time develops. LeBron has never heard a bad song in his life. Don't read that out. I don't know what I was thinking about reading out loud. Oh, Shake That Bear. But Njoku, you could just see it on the board right here. 18 targets in his last 2 games. And then you're looking at Chargers, Bucks, Steelers. 3 teams that have been pretty much getting gashed by the tight end in recent weeks. And it's only going to get better. He's got a really, really good 5-game stretch. I think Njoku's about to break out and be top 10 for at least 3 of those weeks. And QT is working in the slot, and it's going to be great because Hopkins draws attention. Fuller backs up the safeties. QT's just going to eat underneath. So as long as he's healthy, I think he's a great option for Deshaun Watson, who's throwing a lot this year. Their run game's been pretty much non-existent. Ebron or Kittle, that's a dicey question because I do like Eric Ebron. However, Kittle is one of the surprise receivers in the league this year. He is at that level where I'm not just calling him a tight end anymore. Kittle is a receiver, and you gotta steal at tight end because this is one of the worst years for tight end in recent memory. It's Ertz, Kelsey, and pretty much everybody else. Gronk has not been doing anything. So to get a guy like Kittle that can score long touchdowns, break big plays, be a consistent target in an offense that's probably going to have to pass playing Green Bay on Monday night. Really good shape. We got to do power rankings. Whew. I want to record this, so let me throw my hoodie on and I can post this to the Twitter. I'm not gonna lie, I only listened to Sicko Mode a few times, and I know it's like really popular now. It's like 4 songs. The way it like moves from like thing to thing. I can pick out the beginning. It's like wah, wah, which is like badass, and it's like a cool start to a song. The sun is down, the wind is cold, but TBH, I don't. It's like so disjointed as a song. Like if you were like that and like a light, like that doesn't sound like the same song without context. Which is funny because you remember those things called, remember like the Clip-Its? It was like 30 seconds of a song and you would put it in like a special Walkman and your parents wouldn't buy it for you. That it would be perfect for Sicko Mode because it's like 4 different songs. Ryan Tannehill officially inactive. I cannot believe this development. Absolute mash spot for the Bears. I'm afraid I didn't put enough on the Bears right now. Oh my God, my inbox. Stop. Yeah, the Whalers logo looks really good, I think. So, eat it. Crowell or Alex Collins? The funny thing about Crow is he had an absolute monster game. If the current forecast holds, Rams-Broncos will be among the 5 coldest games before November in NFL history. That's pretty cute. So Crowell's actually got out-touched by Bilal Powell last week, even though he had a monster game. Powell's been the touch guy. Alex Collins, was horrible last week. Alex Collins opened the game with a 19-yard run and finished with 59 yards and finished with limping off with a knee injury in the third quarter. So I'm off Collins. I'm pro Crow, but Crow being banged up it's a red flag either way. They both have multiple knocks on them. But if I had to pick a raw talent at this point, Crow is hot. Crow is heating. And it's a better matchup. So it makes it easy. Let me bounce these hiccups and I'll get ready to do power rankings. Cue it up. Cue it up. Cue it up. Cue it up, cue it up, cue it up, cue it up, cue it up. All right. It's halfway through our 3-hour show. You know what that means. It's time for the check down power rankings. This is normally a time when I like to get silly, talk about food, talk about video games, talk about anything I want to, and just rank it to make fun of all the arbitrary rankings that we do in football. But I'm big mad this week because my team is in the absolute gutter. The New York Giants have become one of the most embarrassing, directionless franchises in all of football. And it frustrates me. It gets me VV upset, as the millennials say. So this week, in eschewing all previous check down traditions, we are doing the 5 ways to fix the Giants. And that's the check down power rankings for this week. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you're watching, Mr. Mara. I hope you're watching, Mr. Tisch. I hope you're watching, Pat Shurmur. Take your notes. Saquon, you don't have to watch. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Number 5. The Giants need to pick up the pace. The Giants were down 2.5 scores to the Eagles in the fourth quarter, and we're still huddling up on offense. That is inexcusable. I know your quarterback has cement shoes, but the Giants have athletes on the outside and maybe the best running back in the league. The Giants need to pick up the pace and go no huddle at a higher clip. They're currently going no huddle on less than 8 8% of all plays this season. For a team that's trailed as much as they have this year, that is a horrendously low number. More tempo, bigger plays, more yards, more offense. At 4, I need more shotgun runs. The Giants have spent way too much time running straight into the teeth of the defense, and that's fine. Too many teams run straight ahead on first down for 2 yards. I accept that it is the norm in the NFL, but Saquon's biggest run against the Eagles came on a shotgun draw because the defense doesn't react appropriately, the line can get an initial push, and Saquon, being the generational talent that he is, can move within the interior, find his space, and find the place to accelerate and make a big play. I want more running out of the shotgun. It's what the Giants used to do all the time, and we used to make fun of it despite their consistent success. Now they don't do it enough. I never thought I would say the Giants need to run the ball more out of shotgun. If you're a Giants fan, it's insane, but you also know how well it worked in certain situations and how that needs to be amplified. Rankings aren't up. Did I not put them up? Did I not put them up? Were they not up? Oh, damn it. Technical difficulties. I think we should start over. Because I was recording this for Twitter. Back it up. Don't care. Like a light, ayy. Like a light, ayy. So this week we are talking the top five quarterbacks ways to fix the Giants. What is this? Your boy is goofing. As soon as he wants to do something better than the thing he normally does, he botches it in typical fantasy analyst fashion. What's going on, Chamuk? What is the word? Good morning to you, sir. Happy week 6. Scott, thanks for the tip. And now you guys can see it. Spoilers. God damn. What a botch job. Top 5 ways to fix the Giants. Let's make sure this is where it needs to be. You try to make content, and this is what they do to you. So these are our rankings for the week. Top 5 ways to fix the New York Giants. Mr. Mara, I hope you're watching. Mr. Tish, Mr. Shermer, I hope you're watching. Saquon, enjoy your brunch. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Number 5. The Giants need to run more no-huddle offense. They've been going no-huddle on just 8% of plays this year, which is crazy to think about considering they've been losing the entire season. The first 3 weeks of the season, they never played with a lead. They gave up first drive touchdowns and trailed the entirety of the game. Wes, I will get to your question in 1 second, Wes. This is what we do each week. We do power rankings. So the Giants need to pick up the tempo, pick up the pace, and go no huddle. And that feeds directly into number 4, more shotgun run. That's where Saquon busted his only big touchdown run against the Eagles last week, was on a shotgun draw. If you're a serious Giants fan, it seems insane to think that this is what I would recommend, because the Kevin Gilbride scheme relied heavily on the shotgun run, and Giants fans were so sick of it. But you know what? It is not the worst call, and for a player like Saquon, who has great vision, great acceleration, this is the type of play you need to be running. The Giants are doing too much mashing straight into the teeth of the defense. They've actually run 32% of their rushing plays straight up the middle, and a lot of teams are at a higher clip than 32%, but for a back like Saquon, who has such good lateral quickness and can literally make any player in the NFL look stupid in space. He's never going to get tackled by just one person, so you'd be stupid running him into the middle of the defense. Stop doing it. Get him in shotgun. Give the line a chance to fire off. Make the defense hesitate. Get big plays for Saquon. Number 3, let's get crazy. Odell Beckham's the best quarterback on the team right now. I don't think that's even a question. So why is there no package for Odell and Saquon in the Wildcat? Odell is one of the best athletes in the NFL. He is frustrated because he can't even touch the ball because Eli can't get it to him in space. So give Odell the ball more. This will keep Odell happy. This will keep the offense explosive. This will keep defense on their toes. You can park Eli out on the side, put him in at wide receiver, so you huddle up and people don't pick up on the package. And Odell can either run a sweep, he can option hand off to Saquon, or he can throw, because he can throw. He is a good quarterback. He has always been a natural athlete, one of the best in the league, and more putting the ball in Odell's hands on more plays cannot, capital C, cannot hurt your offense. Number 2, this is my favorite one. I don't know why more teams don't do this. Why don't we just kick onside kicks full speed at the front line? What is stopping a kicker from rocketing a football at the front dude's chest? I never understood. Yesterday, I watched an old onside kick where Mason Crosby did a little back heel. I get why the pop is the supreme onside kick format in today's NFL. Air is good, get people around the ball, get contact, jar it loose. I still maintain that the absolute best way to convert an onside kick in football is to kick it as hard as possible and make one of these hands team players make a play, because the ball is oblong, the velocity is hard, shoulder pads are bumpy, and good things can happen when velocity hits that hard object. We want bounces on onside kicks. We want chaos, and that's why number 2 should be part of every team. This is ways to fix every team. This is ways to fix football. High-speed onside kicks. That's what I'm going with. And the number 1 way to fix the Giants is to put Ryan Lauletta in there and see what happens. Worst case scenario, we are a top team in the draft and we can take Justin Herbert, the kid from Oregon. He is young, he is tall, he is accurate, he's athletic, and he can be our guy for 10 years. If Lauletta isn't, but I like Lauletta's release. He played in a vertical system in college, so he has an accurate deep ball. He won the job over Davis Webb in training camp. There's absolutely no excuse at this point in Eli Manning's performance to not see what Ryan Lauletta is capable of. This is a different scenario from Geno Smith. We knew what Geno was before he was surprise named the starter over Eli. That was a disrespectful move to the franchise quarterback of the New York Giants. This is a changing of the guard. This is young, unproven talent that we need to see play a real NFL game just to see if he has it. If it's such an eye test. The way Josh Allen is out there running for his life, he looks lost. I just want to see Lauletta show a little bit of poise to give me some type of hope, because the worst thing about this right now is the Giants have no hope. They put everything on Eli with no contingency plan. Lauletta was a 5th round pick. You can't go wrong with seeing what's out there and then look at the draft next year. If that was their long game plan, that's fine. Tank the season, go ahead and tank it. But don't tell me that Eli was the plan all along, because you knew what you were getting. And that's my power rankings this week. Thanks for watching. Anyway, let's get back to questions. I want to hear how you guys feel about rocketing onside kicks, because that's a hot take. As we hit our final hour, I'm getting like tons of like Hinge messages. Like, don't people know it's Sunday and I'm live 10 to 1? I can't stand that. Wes Sims wants to know Jimmy Graham versus Eric Ebron. That's a really good one. Jimmy Graham got absolutely isoballed by Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia used the same strategy to shut down Gronk as he did to Jimmy Graham against the Packers, and he knew it would work because the Packers had no receivers. It was the Patriots had no receivers, so it was an identical game plan, and it worked really well. I'm high on Eric Ebron, but I don't trust him with the knee. I think we'll probably see that swoop guy at some point in the game, especially in the red zone. That's just the way things are going to break out. I prefer Jimmy Graham, especially in a situation where the entire Packers skill position group is banged up, and you could be looking at Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Equanimeous St. Brown as your outside receivers. Jimmy Graham could see increased targets. Memester, almost wings time. Let's go. This is usually the time in the show we start waxing poetic about chicken wings. Unlike previous weeks, I actually have chicken wings in my freezer ready to go, so I might take a commercial break at 12:30 and go put them in the toaster oven. Hey! The old Kevin Gilbride, 3rd and 14, we don't have a play for the situation handoff. I agree, that's what the Giants did, but it also would get them 6 yards on 2nd and 4 sometimes. Like, the defense wants to backpedal in a shotgun situation. They want to backpedal, right? So if you're giving it to Saquon, you're forcing them forwards. Then when you play action, you are winning. But this under center shit with Eli cement bricks, and he's holding the ball too long, and routes aren't deep anyway, and we're not attacking the middle of the field. The Giants, by the way, have 3 passing attempts to the deep middle of the field all season. For reference, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have 14, 7 completions for over 100 yards. But attacking the deep middle of the field really messes with how a team plays zone coverage. The Giants just aren't challenging teams on defense, and teams are given no reason to respect what the Giants are trying to do. What's that Bears line up to? Is it up to 7 yet? Is it up to 8 yet? Imagine waking up in Vegas and hearing that news. I would sprint to the window. I might take them first half now that I'm here. First half under? What's the first half under? Bears -7 is the game now. Bears first half is 4 under. I like under 20. I took under 20 first half. If the Dolphins want to score in the first half, they have to run a kickoff back for a touchdown. I think the Bears can score by getting a strip sack and getting a quick tote, but I don't see Trubisky. The Dolphins defense isn't so piss poor. The defensive backfield is much better than the Buccaneers that the Trubisky shredded for 6 totes. So I don't think it's going to be a big Trubisky day. I think the Bears will get some sustained drives, but I think 20 points. I think this half could go 9-3 at the half. I'd be fine with that. 10-3 even. Hell yeah. Let's book it. I have a lot of bets out. I'm trying. It is still 7. But it is interesting. Let me make sure I have enough money on the Bears. I don't want to be like, I didn't bet enough on the Bears. Because that just seems like the ultimate lock at this point. Bears were already in my 2-team parlay lock, all right? Here's what it is. Bears, Falcons over. That's it. 60 points in Atlanta, Tampa. That's easy. And then give me these Bears. Or you could do a Bears money line with the Falcons money line. That's another one I liked. The Falcons defense is bad, but they're not lose at home to Tampa bad. But I would like the over more. That could be 40-20 with the Falcons scoring 40 and the Bucks getting blown out and scoring 20. That's the same 60 points as a 30-30 game. So look out for those two. That's my lock 2-team parlay. The 6-teamer didn't work. The 5-teamer didn't work. The 4-teamer didn't work. The 3-teamer didn't work. That's why we're chasing today, baby. 2 teams, 1 lock. All the money in the world. It's lit. Oh, man. Kyle Lauletta, not Ryan. Are we sure? It is Kyle Lauletta. Well, who's Ryan Lauletta? Who's Ryan Lauletta? Who's Ryan Lauletta? I'm just kidding. I messed that up. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just put a beep over it. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark, for correcting me at every turn. I'll just erase your logo. No, your logo looks great. Your logo looks really good, dude. Latavius Murray, Adrian Peterson, Jordan Reed moved up with Chris Thompson being out, Dalvin Cook being out. Yeah, Dalvin Cook is out if you're late to join the party. That is an important situation to watch. Very interesting that Eric Ebron's a go and that whole situation. The Colts are super banged up. I'm not touching that game from a gambling perspective, but those are teams that I like to engage with during the season on gambling. So it is an interesting situation for me to keep an eye on. Kyle Lauletta. I don't know how I feel about my starting quarterback being named Kyle. Are there any good Kyles in football? I remember Kyle Williams was a lineman, but are there any good quarterbacks named Kyle? I don't see anything. Kyle Shanahan didn't play quarterback. Kyle Orton. Kyle Orton. He was a big one. Kyle Sloter was a draft pick. Oh, Shermer's kid. Shermer's kid playing for Vanderbilt. Maybe that's our dude. Imagine that. Imagine the Giants draft Shermer's kid at quarterback. Oh, God. But imagine if he's good. It's Kyle Shanahan. That's the most famous Kyle in football right now. And it's not even close. But that was a news break. We got to figure that out. It is Kyle Lauletta. Interesting. So our quarterback's name could be Kyle. We have an Eli and a Kyle. That's dumb. That's dumb. Let me know what you're eating for game day. I know Scott's always got a dope spread. He's probably working on it right now. I might have some wings. I might have some Sandy. I had a bagel before the show because this is usually, we're talking about wings because I'm usually starving at this time of day. And I'm getting there, but, you know, I'm a soldier in the truest sense. What do we have left on the schedule today as we burn into our last hour? Let's check the theme song and let's bang on the schedule. Check down. Head into hour 3, week 6, baby. What is that? Cup or Edelman? Oh, Edelman for sure. Kyle Bowler. Cooper Kupp is going to get Chris Harris. That's their number 1 corner in Denver. Drum set. Yeah, boy. Get yourself excited for the last hour and check down. We still got to talk about why this Sunday is slow. We're going to go for our props. We're going to do players I'm high on. We're going to do hot and ready. This is the best hour of the show. This is the best hour of football as far as I'm concerned. Let's do hot and ready. I love me some hot and ready. It's a $5 Little Caesars pizza. It's a hot and ready pizza. Is it good? I said it's hot and it's ready. Okay? These are guys that have incredibly low ownership in ESPN leagues that are there for the taking right now if you need an emergency plug-and-play flex play. I would like to point out that we did have Valdez-Scantling on this list, and he scored last week, so he's on it again. Number 1 is a Cowboys D. If you really need a defense this week, I think at least in like your friends and work league, this is a defense that's going really overlooked. Really good pass rush, athletic linebackers, oversized corners. The Cowboys' new number 1 strength is actually their pass defense. They're doing it really well. Because they have big physical corners and they're developing a pass rush. David Irving is off of PED suspension and injury. He's fine. He's finally going to make his season debut. He's a game wrecker. So if you could get Cowboys defense this week, I think they're in a great spot. Chester Rogers. No Hilton, no Doyle. Ebron banged up for the Colts. Jets are missing Buster Screen. Jets banged up on defense. Chester Rogers, 11% ownership. Fired up. It's Ryan Grant, Chester Rogers on that receiving core, and I give a slight edge in targets to Rogers, and at less than 15% ownership. That's a pretty sexual situation. Shred, what's up? I understand you. I got to take my phone off low power mode. I almost accidentally banned somebody. JFP, what's going on, man? Get in touch with me. I want to talk to you. Third on our hot and ready is David Moore. David Moore. Let me know if you know what team David Moore plays in. He's definitely a Kyle. David Moore is the outside receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. It is Lockett and David Moore. Moore's big play potential has all but replaced Brandon Marshall in the offense. Marshall's snaps and touches are all way down since Moore's emergence. He's had a couple of big plays in the past few weeks. And this is a good matchup on the outside against a Raiders secondary that has been proven pretty vulnerable in the last couple of weeks. That is a London game, and David Moore at less than 4% ownership is a guy that could show up in a big way. If not this week, then maybe better down the line, but is ready to be added at this point. Especially if you talk earlier, we talked about a guy like Fitzgerald, like David Moore, more productive than Fitzgerald. Absolutely. Pilo Dilo, what's going on, boss? How you doing? Happy Sunday to you. Happy week 6 to you. We're talking hot and ready free agent ads. Ryan Tannehill is out, so you run to your bookie. You run. Don't walk to your bookie, and you take the Bears today. At 4% ownership, I'm going back to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. MVS. The hyphen himself had a really solid game. Caught a tote against the Lions. Granted, it broke out perfectly as far as game script. Packers were down 3 scores like that, but this is an asterisk play because of Geronimo Allison and Randall Cobb being questionable. My strategy would be to have MVS if you are an Allison owner and get ready to flop them Monday night because Geronimo Allison is a game time decision. Officially the most fucky scenario in fantasy football. Monday Night Football game time decisions. The worst. Family show. So get ready for that, but I think that that's a real receiver at NFL level that can produce, and only 4% ownership. Lucrative. And there it is, baby. Kapri Bibbs. 0.7% owned. Kapri Bibbs. Third running back for the Redskins. There you go, Pilo Dilo. You know. You probably got a great number now because you took him early. Because that shit's plummeting. We got Osweiler starting today. Chris Thompson has been declared out. Adrian Peterson's going to be the starter. He 100% dislocated his shoulder and popped it back in on Monday night. That means he's got a torn labrum. That means his effectiveness is reduced. I like Kapri Bibbs here. 0.7% ownership. Not an ideal matchup against the Panthers, but a game I think can be more high scoring than people are giving it credit. Alex Smith was so bad on Monday night, and I just think that we're doing a little bit of a recency bias with him. I think he'll be fine today. Cowboys over Vikings. Very interesting question. At home with the run defense that they have, I'm very much leaning Vikings. I would say the Cowboys are a more explosive play, but I just feel like Vikings at home against a quarterback that's had a lot of trouble moving the chains despite being my son. Vikings just seems like a much safer play in this situation. Cowboys low ownership. Like I got guys that still have accidentally have the Colts in their lineup, guys that accidentally still have the Lions in their lineup, and there's one more that's really bad. Oh, the Cardinals. If you still have if you're streaming and still have the Cardinals from last week, you absolutely have to make a change today. And the Cowboys is a really nice and easy swap. So those are our hot and ready picks. Don't ask if they're good. They are hot and they are ready. 0.7% Kapri Bibbs. That's a very small number for a running back. It doesn't matter what league you're in, size, depth. Kapri Bibbs touched the ball on Monday night. So we got players that are getting more respect with less production. Jamal Charles is 15% owned right now. He hasn't played a snap. Are I worried about the Rams? In Denver weather? No, it's just going to be cold. If anything, I'm worried about Goff because he went to Cal and he plays in LA. He's from California. He's literally never had to be a consistent cold weather quarterback. So if anything, I'm worried about Goff. But there's no wind, and that's the true determining factor in element affecting NFL scoring. It is wind. Rain and snow typically have very little to do affecting scoring output on average. I'm hearing that snow is going to stop falling. I'm hearing it's going to be very cold, one of the coldest pre-November games in NFL history. But 6 mile per hour wind, that's me sneezing, bro. That's 6 mile per hour wind is nothing. 15, that's what we call each other on. But 6 mile per hour wind, that's a sneeze, baby. We're playing right through that. I'm starting to lose it. That's rough. I got to do the Monday Night Football strategy video after this with Daily Fantasy Insiders. If you like DFS, you should really get down with Daily Fantasy Insider. They're doing really good stuff. And if you like free jerseys from pristineauctions.com, then you got to get down with the Boombox, man. It's how you get hooked up for watching Boom Fantasy live streams. We already got one deposit today. That's that beautiful Hartford Whalers logo you see in the corner. Deposit into your Boom account. Send the screenshot to me, rick@boomfantasy.com. You're entered in to win Boom apparel. You like this? You like this? You like a nice little hoodie? Weather's plummeting. You want one of these boys? How about that? That's not enough for you? Pilo Dilo, Chumuk, look at this baby. Oh, yeah. pristineauctions.com. We made it rain. I just chill like this for the rest of the show. We haven't even unboxed. I'm nervous to do an unboxing video. But, this is my baby these days. Pristine Auction hooked it up. And we are giving away this whole box over the course of the season. And if you want to enter to win, you need to have gotten in on the Boom box. All you have to do is deposit into the Boom account. Pilo Dilo, is that mine? No, it's not yours. You're entered to win. That's your Lombardi trophy right there. That's everything in that box. There's $500 worth of NFL memorabilia in that box. So don't get too excited. But a box of a similar design could be headed your way if you enter to win the Boom box. All right? We're also going to get you a bobblehead. Obvi. Get down with what you're already doing. You're already in the Boom Fantasy app. You already have a Boom Fantasy account. So load up that account, play some contests, send me that screenshot, and win one of these jerseys. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It's just facts. It's just big facts. You'll know. You'll know when it's yours because UPS will be knocking at your door. Right? What else do we got today? So, this is not a great fantasy Sunday. It's a decent week for fantasy football. Someone in my 2-quarterback league just picked up Osweiler. That is awesome. This might be one of the worst Sundays of the calendar. If I have Alex Smith as quarterback, good. Should I hit the waiver wire? I mean, let me know what the top waiver options are. I don't know how big of a league it is. I don't know what other quarterbacks are available, but I think Alex Smith is going to have a nice game. The Panthers are not rushing the passer. The Panthers are the team that let the Giants break their 30 points per game streak last week. They got back in that game through Cam Newton interceptions, but Alex Smith can move the ball. I refuse to believe that Monday night is who Alex Smith is. So, look at the schedule today. We are missing the Giants, the Eagles, the Lions, the Saints, the Pats, the Chiefs, and the Packers. That's 7 of the most fun teams in the league. What? That's not fair. That hurts. So, not having those guys to watch on Red Zone is going to make it a really sad place. Bortles, Flacco, Carr still hanging out. Wire kind of depleted. I'm fine with Alex Smith then. I think Alex Smith's a fine pick. I just played my first Boom vet. I'm liking the Boom sound effect. Boom shakalaka, baby. Ew, who picked up Brock? It is a writers league. It's Scott Fishbowl. If you're on Twitter, you might know about Scott Fishbowl. It is an invite only, or you win your way in. Super flex, no defense, no kickers, no trades, fantasy football league, with pretty much every fantasy writer that has the time to participate. Matthew Berry's in it this year. His team's trash. But yeah, somebody who's a fan, it said their name and then it didn't say website. It says fan. 10-team league standard. Some teams have 3 quarterbacks. Well, that's super rude. Stashing quarterbacks is rude, but it's a 10-team league, so I honestly would do that. That just means there's probably a crazy amount of running back and receiver talent on free agency. Tyler Kroft may need season-ending foot surgery. That's devastating for the Bengals. Good God. So, yeah, some rando fan picked up Brock, which is hilarious. I hope he immediately starts him. I hope I'm playing him this week. So, we lose 7 of the most fun teams in football. Then you got the Vikings going against the Cardinals and the Texans going against the Bills. So, 2 offenses that are short-circuited. They're going to be fine, but it's, like, annoying. The Chargers are another really fun offense that's going to lose gas against the Browns defense. The good defenses are playing each other, Titans, Ravens. So that's going to be another game that fantasy owners perceive as boring, but I love because there's going to be third down stops and field position wars. We got a London game, but it's not even early. Like, if you're going to put a game on another continent, at least put it at a wacky time. We got a 1 p.m. London start. Like, that's no fun for anybody. And then we got no Fournette for Zeke Fournette. It's going to be a battle of 2 teams that stake their identity on their running back, and we just are robbed of one of the sides of it. It's really frustrating. So, that being said, we're looking for our most interesting game of the day. Probably Rams-Broncos, but I'm also really interested in that Ravens-Titans game. And Jets-Colts. Listen, Jets-Colts, those are wild card teams. The AFC is not nearly as good as the NFC. Did Rappaport just find the Benjamin? Yeah, Kelvin Benjamin. Hey, what's going on, Kai Guy? How you doing? What's up? We're talking about worst Sundays. We're finishing up our last hour. We go 10-1. Who's the Finns' backup behind Brock? It was David Fales, I believe. David Fales. Yeah, David Fales made the roster as the third quarterback. Former San Jose State guy. 6th round pick in 2014. He's got some flow. But, you know, it's just not ideal. Tight end, Burton or Brait? That's an excellent question. Trey Burton, I think, is going to start picking up steam. Cameron Brate's got to split touches with O.J. Howard. Cameron Brate's getting a lot of reps from Cameron Brate's getting a lot of reps because he's not a lot of reps. He's got a lot of steam from DFS because he's super cheap on DFS sites, and Winston loves Brate. But O.J. Howard getting healthy, I don't see the Bucks playing a lot of 2 tight end sets. I would be amazed if the Bucks played like an overwhelming amount of 2 tight end sets today. And so if I had to choose, I'm probably going to choose Burton in there because I'm a Burton guy. I think the Bears are going to run a lot of plays today just because of they're going against Brock Osweiler. Like, we've established this. This is a great, great, great matchup. And it's not a great matchup for the Bears skill position players because the D-backs on Miami are respectable. Sorry. Messages. Messages that people that are unaware that we live stream for 3 hours. Did I win a book box? No. No, you did not. I believe you entered to win one, so I'd be fine with putting your emoji up on the board. 7? Did you win 7 book boxes? Shred, you okay? You doing all right, my guy? Boom boxes have not been awarded. We are going to pick our date. We're going to have our drawing. I'm going to rent a tux. It's going to be beautiful. But I don't want people to think that once we start drawing, there's a deadline to enter. There are multiple drawings, and all you got to do is make sure you enter at least once. And I want to give you stuff, right? I took Bears over 23.5 team total. I would much rather take the Dolphins under team total. What's that looking at? As much as I love Mitchell Trubisky. Dolphins 16.5 points. Yep. Can the Dolphins get into the end zone twice? Not likely. I'm working on a tease involving Bears pick'em because I'm a degenerate. Bears +3. Who do you guys like in a 10-team tease? 10-point tease. Let me know. Let's play around with some odds. We got 40 minutes. We got to look at player props. We have to do players I'm high on. I like doing that for the last... I'll do that at 12:30. We'll do that in 10 minutes. So we'll do players I'm high on. Then we'll look at some player props. Then we'll fire off the theme song and call this a night. I got to put some wings in the toaster oven. I had to get ready to do the Monday night strategy video with Big Play Coach Jay from Daily Fantasy Insider. Thoughts on Chargers versus Browns? It's an interesting matchup. I think the Chargers defense is a disaster right now. So I'm very interested to see how well the Browns move the ball. I am on Browns team total over 23.5. I think that if they hit that number, they should win this game. This is the same team that slowed down the Saints to under 20 points, but they also gave up over 40 to the Raiders. So I'm not fully sold on the Browns defense, but I do think their pass rush is elite. Their front four is as good as, with Garrett and Ogunjobi, their front four is as good as any teams in the league right now. Any teams. So that is important to keep an eye on. They've been kind of vulnerable to running backs. Melvin Gordon should have a very good game. Melvin Gordon, 100 yards or a touchdown, or both, 6 straight games, by the way. Becoming one of the more consistent, if not the most consistent, elite back in fantasy that isn't named Todd Gurley, okay? So we won't stand for disrespect. But ultimately, I think the Browns are going to win that game. But I do think it's close. That's why I'm staring at... I'm staring at... what was the line that I'm staring at? It's like lost in the sauce here. Oh, Chargers +11 and Browns +9 as part of this tease. Because both of them look really juicy. Because I think it's going to be a close game. But ultimately, I think the Browns defense is good enough to hang. And Baker is really getting there. And the Chargers defense is not that good. Without Joey Bosa, they're struggling with the pass rush. And their secondary's hella banged up. I think it'll be a nice day for Jarvis Landry, too. But yeah, that's an interesting matchup. The Browns are going to play vulnerable defenses for the entire month of October. They're going to play the Chargers, the Steelers. They're going to play the Bucks. They're going to play... oh my God. There's the Chiefs. They're going to play the Chiefs. And then this one right here. They are flush with cakewalk matchups for the next month of the NFL season. So I'm a big Browns guy over the next couple weeks. Baker's going to fight himself into streaming quarterback conversation. I think Njoku's going to be an every week starter by the time we hit November. It's time. It's time. After trading Joel Siegel client Khalil Mack, the Raiders reportedly are shopping Joel Siegel clients Amari Cooper and Carl Joseph. That is freaking crazy. Imagine Amari Cooper on a different team and starts showing out. Whoop. I understand. Tread, listen. Not an engineer. Fantasy football guy. Fantasy football guy. 2 thumbs and loves fantasy football. 2 thumbs and can't code. I understand. We are working on it. This is a fantasy sports app. We got priorities. We are a legit startup, and we are doing this Brick by MFB. Motherfucking Brick family show. So I get it. I get the frustration, but it is what it is right now. It's going to be better, dude. It's only going to get better. Pilo Dilo, I love the indignation. Let's look at let's do players I'm high on. Like, I'm sure you talked about my boombox, but I didn't hear any of it. Yeah, I mean, my is a strong word. We talked about a boombox, but my is a strong verb or qualifier. My is probably not the right word, is what I mean to say. You know, personal. Don't take it too personal. Why did I start the tweet advertising the stream with oi? Amari Cooper might be good. I mean, I think Amari Cooper is very good. I just don't think he's in an offense with a quarterback that knows how to get him the ball. And I think John Gruden is scheming him the ball, and it's still not mattering. I think that John Gruden is very frustrated with his quarterback. And then realizing how much he's on the books for and crying. But this is the thing with the Khalil Mack trade. If John Gruden has a 10-year contract, talked to Giraldi recently. I have not. Is he okay? John Gruden has a 10-year contract as the Raiders head coach. So he's on a slow plan, and he's going to build this team in his image, right? He's going to build this team the way he wants to build his team. So right now, why wouldn't you get rid of all the best players, get as much cash assets as you can? You're right, Mark. Mark Davis has no money to pay these guys, so what's the point in keeping them around? Trade them at their peak, get as much as you can back, and start over. Other teams are afraid to do this. Oh, Giraldi. Yeah. Oi. Nah, just chewing it up. Start over. You got a 10-year contract. Most coaches, most GMs, we're on 3-4-year deals. We are afraid of pulling the plug and starting over. Oi. Yeah. Aussie. Starting over is hard for an NFL team because you have to be bad before you're good, right? But if John Gruden trades Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper, and Carl Joseph, he's going to end up with enough picks to build his core foundation for 6 years. He's going to get hooked up for that. Those are real assets. Those are real assets that are underperforming in the current lineup. Not the dumbest strategy. Not the dumbest strategy at all. Again, hate all you want. But Gruden is here for the long haul, and he can build this team in his image. I mean, as a Raider fan, I'd be very frustrated. But it's the right thing to do, man. If there's confidence in your ability to build a roster, get bad. Look at the Astros. Look what the Astros are doing. All right, players I'm high on. I really should have music for this. Or some sort of imaging. Players I'm high on. The first player I'm high on this week is Jared Cook. Man, I was off Jared Cook. Now I'm on Jared Cook in a big way. Great matchup today. I'm also on Alex Smith. I talked about him earlier in the show. We're doing some recency bias on Monday. Alex Smith should be fine today against a Panthers team that cannot rush the passer. I'm also getting really high on no Titans. I'm completely off the Titans at home today. I'm so high on no Titans. It's just how I feel. I'm so high on Jarvis Landry. Great matchup today. Slot guys, shifty guys have been really roasting the Chargers secondary. Had a tough time with it. Get the ball out quick. Baker's my dude. When Baker needed a big play last week, he looked for Jarvis Landry. So expect more of that. I'm also really high on Adam Thielen. I think this is a no-brainer. I think it's funny that Adam Thielen's finally getting priced at $8K on the major DFS sites. Not that I care or even know about that. But, we are finally coming around that Thielen is a legitimate stud. Not a week-in, week-out solid play, but an absolute week-in, week-out stud. Another guy I'm get really high on is Latavius Murray. Oh, did I make this segment before Dalvin Cook was declared out? Allow me to brush it off, baby. Mahomes style. Yeah, Latavius Murray's got a nice workload tonight. The Niners destroyed the Cardinals' run defense last week. Really nice game. Latavius Murray has the whole backfield to himself this week. No pitch count for Dalvin Cook. His pitch count 0. He's not going to play. You know what else I'm really high on? Marshawn Lynch. We talked about it earlier in the show. Double revenge game for Marshawn Lynch. Double revenge game. We're talking 1-yard line interception last week and playing the Seahawks. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Marshawn Lynch gets the carries. Oh, that's blocked off. You know who I'm talking about. There's no Marshawn Lynch. I'm also getting really high on Phillip Lindsay. I think that the Rams' interior defense is a problem. The Broncos have shown that their strength is running the football. if they can keep the game script close, which I'm not super confident in, that would only work in Phillip Lindsay's favor because Royce Freeman would be the grinder, right? All this talk about Phillip Lindsay being the second guy if it snows and Royce Freeman being the starter because he's wider. Like, Phillip Lindsay went to Colorado, my guy. Like, he's local. And Nunwa or Kiki, PPR. Kiki, I love him. I am riding. I'll never do that again. I'm so sorry, Michael. Thanks for popping into the show. Really appreciate it. Anunwa is getting moved out of the slot where he's uncomfortable, and his fantasy value is dead until further notice. Go with Kiki. Good matchup. Something else I'm really high on is Rachel Bush. Yo, if you haven't checked into this Rachel Bush Twitter drama, is there a Bears lineman named Eric Kush? Shut up. Eric Kush played college football at Cal Penn, who was also Kumar. Kush was selected with the 170th overall pick. He's a 6th round pick, and his name's Kush. I bet he balls like swoosh. If you don't know about this Rachel Bush drama, this is a family show, so I can't pull up the pictures, but it is 100% worth Googling. You just don't see him like that anymore. They just don't make him like that. If I were a Bills fan, I would buy a Rachel Bush jersey. That's how deep I am in this hole. Yeldon, Jordan Howard, Latavius Murray, Standied, pick 2. I would go Jay Howe and Murray. Jay Howe, given the change of pace with Osweiler, you could see a full second half melt from the Bears. Yeldon, I very much appreciate his value. The Cowboys have really athletic linebackers, right? And Standard is the real cause for concern because I don't think Yeldon's a good rusher. I think they got to get him out in space. They got to get him swinging so he can produce, but he's not going to get that PPR upside. So I like Howard and I like Murray to grind out yards this week. I think those are the better picks. I understand where the Yeldon pick comes from, but I like this Cowboys defense more than I should this week. That was players I'm high on. Oh, look, the boombox. You guys want to get down with autographed jerseys from Pristine Auction with certificate of authenticity? I'm so high on players. Autographed jerseys. Boom Apparel. You need to deposit into your Boom account. Take a screenshot. Send it to me, rick@boomfantasy.com. That is how you sign up. That is how you get down. Raider shopping Amari Cooper is amazing. Just Google Rachel Bush. LOLs. Yeah, Pilo Dilo knows. I'm a big fan of your work, Pilo. That is amazing. Tanner, you can't be typing that in the chat. I really don't respond well to that. Unless you're threatening a SWAT again. I got swatted like 4 times last season. It was dangerous. So that's players I'm high on. We're going to look at player props. And I think that's it for today. Yeah, gambling angles, high on players, hot and ready, we did. Let's look at props. FanDuel Sportsbook, book. Where's the book at? Where's your book at? Okay, what is Adam Thielen receiving yards? Player prop parlays? Whoa, get out of here. I need player props. Player props. Adam Thielen receiving yards, 93.5. Whoa, do I love this over. Whoa, do I love this over. That's a good one. Put that in the pile. Let's go back to NFL. What's another one I like? Oh, McCaffrey total yards if we can get it. Christian McCaffrey rushing yards, Christian McCaffrey receiving yards. What's receiving yards? 47.5. Yeah, I like that. It'll be close. I might not take that. I'm just putting it in the pile. What else do we got here? Chip Gruden. Rick, Chip Gruden. Tanner's begging me to say Chip Gruden on stream because the Raiders are flipping all their players. It is reminiscent of the Shady McCoy, Kiko Alonso trade. Bears, Dolphins. What do we got here for player props? We got Osweiler here. Did they put him in yet? Nah, they just took all the Dolphin stuff off the board. Ha ha ha! That's so funny. Let's see what else we got here. Not gonna touch Browns Chargers props. Steelers Bengals. What do we got for Bengals catch props? Is Michelle playing? Yes, Sony Michelle will be playing tonight. Joe Mixon total yards. What's this? Oh, 96. That's tough. I could get into it though. Dalton passing yards 278 is pretty tasty. I'm not feeling overwhelming about that. $100 parlay on the money lines for the Cardinals, Bills, and Dolphins would win you $7,000 today. No thanks. Yeah, Pilodilo. They asked Sony Michel how he's doing and if he's gonna play. He said yes, but like nothing else. I'm pretty sure the non-practice during the week is precautionary because they really like him. So I'm cool with staying away with playing him tonight. Sorry. I said the opposite. What's Julio's yardage? Julio destroys the Tampa Bay Bucks. 103 is a joke and an insult. Let me see if I can find that on my other guy. Fist pump. I got you. Yeah, no, Sony Michel's going to be okay. I think that you should be encouraged that they really like him and they're going to give him precautionary rest. Thielen receiving yards 90. I'm all over that. Julio receiving yards 105.5. A little bit dicey. But those are two props that I can get behind. Rosen under 19 completions is also a good take. But that's my son. Rosen under 210 yards, also interesting. He's failed to hit that number back-to-back weeks. But I'm just not super confident in it. Looking at more props, looking at Baker props, Browns props, Bears props. What do we got for Jordan Howard rushing yards? 63. No thanks. He's going to have to break some stuff. What about John Brown? I like John Brown this week. Nope, just Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, 7 catches. That seems so high. But do what you want to do. Chris Carson rushing yards at 69.5. Nice. Marshawn Lynch rushing yards 64.5. I'm hitting that over. So my props for today are over on Thielen receiving yards, over on Julio receiving yards, and over on Marshawn Lynch rushing yards. Cake. My account is nearly tappied, and I've never felt good. I don't feel bad about any of my bets, which is so scary. So scary. Oh, the Rojo under. Yeah, where's Rojo? Is that up on the screen? Oh, rushing plus receiving? Dude, that's not fair. You don't want to mess with that. I would more likely take this Tevin Coleman over, but any plus number on a running back is dangerous. Even though I did hit the Smallwood prop. It was like 60 yards. He had 1 catch for 0 yards against the Giants because they didn't need him in the second half. But I think this is really dicey. 39.5 is a crazy low number for the main running back because Peyton Barber's going to get sat. Shawnee Mack, what's for lunch, my guy? We're 20 minutes out till kickoff. Shawnee Mack's got a nice lunch, and it starts with P and it ends with Y. Shawnee Mack's having pastries. Oh, we got Sherman Jones in the chat. Sanu, Tyler Lockett, Amari Cooper, Doug Baldwin, pick 2, 0.5 PPR. Yizikes, I love Lockett. It's tough with Cooper, Baldwin, Sanu. It's darts either way. High on T. Cohen. Not down on T. Cohen, but not... Oh, you got me. You're having a pastry. Shawnee, can you just know what I'm doing with the joke and just take it? Like, you get your own individual riff. Like, that should be more than enough for you. Deposit in your account and get this fucking Boombox family show. Sanu, Tyler Lockett, Amari Cooper, Doug Baldwin, pick 2.5 PPR. I'm off. I need to see it. I need to see Doug Baldwin do it before I'm ready to start him. One target last week was just so devastating for me. So give me Lockett and Sanu in that's the biggest play on the board of the 4 is Lockett, and Sanu has a chance to get the most work against the worst secondary in football. You know? So worst secondary in football. Some turkey and stuffing. My guy, it's October, but I love it. That's awesome. Rick, I don't think we were fully appreciating. Oh, so we got Game Pass. NFL Game Pass allows me to watch any game since 2009. And last night, because I miss Eli Manning, we watched the 2011 Giants win in Green Bay when they were the number 1 seed. Green Bay was. Giants won 37-20. Hakeem Nicks, 2 first half totes. Just to see what good Eli looked like. Oh, Darnold props. Let's check him out. Just to see what good Eli looked like. And honestly, it was really good. But it was also a product of the Gilbride offense. Getting Eli to his receivers downfield and then using the timing to beat coverage. And something I also thought about was the Giants' top receiver was always a big. Why am I looking at next week's odds? The Giants' first receiver was Burris. It was Nicks. It was always a bigger guy. Am I scrolling past it over and over again? There it is. It was the first one. Darnold props. Darnold. Whoa. Sam Darnold to throw for 250 in New York to win. That's pretty cool. 231. That's pretty decent. With Crowell banged up, a lot of dink and duck to Powell. That's not the worst. I'm not going to take rookie quarterback passing yards unless they're Baker Mayfield. No offense. But that's a fun number to play with. 231. That's pretty good. Oh, Andy Singleton with the retweet for the last 20 minutes. We're all about that life. We love that. Cousins rushing tutty. Who is this? That's Shawnee Mack. Why did I even look at the name? Cardinals, Vikings, more Ragers, player props. First, you want first or anytime? Anytime, he's plus 800. First touchdown, Kirk Cousins rushing tote, 3,400. That's you, baby. That's all you. 10 to win, 340. Throw a dimer on it. Throw 1,000 on it. Retire. I swear to God, if it hits, I swear to God, I will be taking Mahomes first tote rushing tonight because that's hit in a couple weeks in a row. That's one that I could actually see. What are the odds on that? Chiefs, Pats, more wagers. Dude, it's so much. Anytime plus 800, not so bad. Player props, first touchdown scorer, Mahomes. Plus 2,100, my guy. I will no problem throw a 10 ski on that. That is begging for me to put $10 on it. Fuck it. I'll put $10 on Hunt too. And I'll lose 20 for a chance at winning 80 or 210. That is awesome odds. What's his anytime? Clicked off. You know, it's funny because I think FanDuel Sportsbook has done really well. They are getting destroyed by DraftKings Sportsbook. If you're not in New Jersey, basically what happened was DraftKings was the first one out. And normally sharp gamblers will shop around for lines. They'll say, oh, what does this get? What does this get? Maybe get another point their way. Public betting bros don't do that. They downloaded the Sportsbook app, and now they have a sports betting app. And DraftKings was the first one, right? So it is not the same arena when you're dealing with the overwhelming public. You get these apps. So DraftKings did like 6 million and change in September, and FanDuel barely cleared 2. It's bad. Anytime touchdown scorer, Mahomes plus 350. That's pretty good. Kansas DST for 410 is really nice too. Josh Gordon 240 seems like the nuts. What's JG first touchdown? 1,400? Wow. Give me these 3 plus this one. Risk 10. Risk 40. at worst lose 40. Westavelli popping into YouTube. What's going on, boss? Carr or Trubisky, you say? First of all, you got to get down with the Boom Fantasy app because that's where the real live stream is popping off. Download Boom Fantasy. DM me on Twitter at the Rick Rose, and I'll make sure you get a free entry for Monday night's contest. I could do little for you today because I'm doing this. But Carr Trubisky is interesting. I am nervous about Trubisky both off the heels of a 6 TD game and with the general game state of playing against Brock Osweiler. I will go Derek Carr here, and I hate it. Personally, Westavelli, I hate your quarterbacks. Like, I'm taking this question personally. I don't like your quarterbacks, and I wish they would go away, and I wish they weren't your quarterbacks. How about you tell me who's on free agency? Because if Alex Smith is on free agency, you pull that trigger. So yeah, watching the Giants play last night in a 2011 game, whoa, reminded me about how good Eli was, how good Hakeem Nicks was, how good Ahmad Bradshaw was. Shawnee Mac, don't. Shawnee Mac, I'm pitching that to randos who wander in from Twitter live and shit. Like, you're in here. I need you to get into contests and get in the boombox. Yeah, Bears Dolphins to 7 is absurd. That shit jumped at least 2 points today. I mean, you want to get in the Monday night's contest, you text me out. We'll figure it out. But Jarrell Jernigan returning kicks was also a blessing for the Giants. Like, the crazy part about the Giants Super Bowl runs is they got production from low value players like Jarrell Jernigan, like Ahmad Bradshaw, like Victor Cruz. If you want to be a contender, you need to hit on your undrafted free agents and your lower round draft picks. CJ Beathard and Keenum are free agents. Sketchy, I think Case Keenum's a fine play today. Better than Carr Trubisky. Sketchy for sure. Nobody has given up more passing touchdowns than Marcus Peters. He's the number one corner for the Rams. Weather is not an issue in that game. There's going to be a little bit of snow, but no wind. It should be totally fine. And if Keenum can get it together a little bit, he's going to have a productive ass start. Family show. So Carr, Trubisky, Keenum, I'm going to lean Keenum in that case. Either way, don't expect much, but I definitely think Keenum has the highest ceiling there. Shout out to the Boom DFS Instagram followers. Check us out, Boom DFS. We got to crank up the meme train on that. We are slacking on memes. We need to double and triple down on memes if possible. And that's coming from the CEO. That's Steve telling us we need more memes. I'm still looking at these player props, these first touchdown props. What do we got here? Thielen over. I got value on that. Julio Jones, I didn't get value on that, but I mean, Julio has to smoke today. I think in other DFS sites, he's going to be 50% owned. Like, to me, it's crazy to go and not play Julio this week. Just in case you guys needed reminding. Wow, look at this. Hey, say it for me.
SVP here, opening your sports world with StatMuse. Julio Jones has 83 catches for 1,413 yards and has scored 10 touchdowns in 12 games against the Buccaneers in his career.
SVP
here.
That's nice. Ahmad Bradshaw, Pilo Dilo. Ahmed who? Ahmad Bradshaw, you uncultured cretin. Tell me StatMuse isn't dope, though, for a second. Tell me StatMuse isn't sick. Let's do Trubisky versus Dolphins. I don't think he's ever played them. I didn't understand your question. Hey. I mean, if you spell one letter wrong for Trubisky. I understood your question, but there were no results. He's never played him before. I like StatMuse. I think it's really cool. I'm starting to use it more. I like digging into Pro Reference, but StatMuse is really cool for like that search query stuff that I know how to find and want to articulate more clearly than just like scrolling pro ref, especially on the show. I think we'll probably lean into StatMuse even more. Plus their art style is sick. Who am I getting high on today, man? Oh my God, it was so many players. Are we about to do more rips? Because I don't know if I could honestly handle it. Because I got to do another video before I actually turn on Red Zone today. I have to do another video. So let's pull these up. This is for Shawnee Mack, who ate turkey instead of watching the show. Getting so high off players today. Getting so high off players today. I'm getting high on Jared Cook. I'm getting high on Alex Smith. I'm high on no Titans. That's like I'm high on life. That's like runner's high when you get high on nothing. I'm high on Jarvis Landry today, honestly. Really high on Adam Thielen. I just took his player prop. That's how high I am on him. Show me 95 yards. I'm also high on Latavius Murray, getting the full workload. Yeah, baby. Shawnee Mack loves this segment, but can't bother to show up on time for it. I should put a time on this so you know when to show up. Marshawn Lynch. So high on Marshawn Lynch today. The fact that Marshawn Lynch doesn't actually smoke weed on the sidelines disappoints me. I think he's straight. I think he only eats Skittles as his drug of choice. I think Phillip Lindsay is a guy I'm really high on today. Very big upside, very solid play. Snow game, interior. I already recommended Case Keenum as an interesting free agent play. Love it. I'm high on Rachel Bush. I'm high on Rachel Bush, Shawnee Mack. I know you don't know who that is, but you got to look up that whole thing. You got to get down with that drama. That's drama you want to be a part of. And those are players I'm high on. What do you think about that, Elon? Meh. So, we make it work. That's our segment. And we got 9 minutes until kickoff. What do you guys want to talk about? Pretty much tapped. Great segment. Thank you, Shawnee Mack. You're great. You are great. Let's do this Boom Millionaire contest, right? I like Kirk Cousins in this first question. Arizona's just hemorrhaging yards on defense, and Watson's got a decently tough matchup. Plus, he's banged up against the Bills secondary that is strong and white, and then drops off after the one, but definitely not as easy as Arizona in terms of. Oh, what's going on? Tanner's getting high on my undying love for you. I love that. Most rushing yards: Mixon, McCaffrey, Carson, Crowell. I like Carson in this question. I just think the other two guys do a lot of receiving volume, and Isaiah Crowell's banged up, so Carson has a chance to get a ton of work. And rushing yards, if it were total yards, I wouldn't be sniffing Carson, but straight rushing yards, I like him in this question. Thank you, Shawnee Mack, for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Receiving yards, this is a crazy question because there's legit studs in it with Julio Evans, AJ, and Antonio Brown. I love the way the Bengals have been moving AJ Green in the slot, and it's a guy that I think can easily win this question, but it's Julio week. It's the week for Julio. We already took his prop, over 105 yards. He's going to have a monster game. We looked up his splits. It's Julio week. It's Julio week. It's Julio week. Julio Jones. But those other guys are all going to have good games this week. Most catches, this one's really interesting too. You bet, buddy. Let me know, Shawnee Mack, if I should put a time on that segment. If it's that popular, that it needs to be regulated in terms of scheduling. Because the only thing we do time-wise is power rankings. Everything else is mishmash. But that segment seems to be a lot of people's favorite. Most receptions, I picked Jared Cook here. I think the way Derek Carr drops underneath, Jared Cook's got the fastest route to 8 catches in this group. And next I'd see Landry. Keenan Allen's not getting the targets. It's super disappointing. We led the show with this. This is my prop from FanDuel. Keenan Allen to lead the league in receiving yards. $50 to win $790. And I might eat this on the air for Thanksgiving dinner. If Thanksgiving comes around and Keenan Allen is not top 10 in receiving, I will dunk this in gravy and eat it. Most total touchdowns, Lockett, Diggs, Juju, Deshaun Jackson. I like Juju here based on red zone targets. I think that's fair. Just an overwhelming red zone target compared to the other three. Most passing touchdowns, another three good ones. I would stick with Ryan or Roethlisberger here if you're going multi-entry, but Matt Ryan's QB1, great matchup. Julio, worst passing defense in football. Matt Ryan's hot, especially in the red zone. Easy pick here. This is a smash pick. I'm running out of gas. Lightning rounds, I actually took over on this. I jacked this up to like 150. Adam Thielen is not only the most targeted receiver on the Vikings, he's the most targeted receiver when Kirk Cousins is under pressure. And that is the one thing the Cardinals do better than anything else, is put pressure on the quarterback, and the Vikings have a makeshift offensive line. They're going to need to get the ball out quick. That means Thielen. Rack. Run after the catch. Big day. Hopkins, banged up. Tough matchup. Tre'Davious White, Bills' top corner, has all but shut down number one receivers this year. He did it to Keenan Allen. He did it to Diggs pretty much. He did it to Corey Davis. Hopkins moves around a little bit. Oh, yeah. Pilo Dilo knows about Rachel Bush. My guy. So I think Hopkins is going to dip down from this average number. Show me around 99. But overall, solid play. You can't take Hopkins out of your lineup. Start your studs. Defenses don't matter. We talked about it earlier in the show. Oh, I'll get so high on Rachel Bush. I said it before. If I were a Bills fan, I would have a Rachel Bush jersey. That is the most promising asset on their team right now. That's their number one asset. Here we go, baby. We're searching for Bills Mafia vids. Who needs Bills Mafia Monday when you can get on Instagram for the last 5 minutes of the show? They're playing a day game, right? They're in Houston. So where are the videos? I'm seeing a disturbing lack of tables here. I'm searching Bills Mafia.
We got the
Bills Mafia. Whoa, hey, we saw that last one. But where is the tables? There's not enough here. Do you think they don't get posted until the mid-game? Do you know why? Someone's probably going through a table right now. Like, as we speak, someone is getting planted through what you consider a makeshift poker table. That's just the reality of the situation. Listen, we talked about a lot of stuff today. When it comes to gambling, I need you to be smart, be responsible, and bet on the Bears, all right? Focus on the things you like. You don't need action. You need money. You need to pay bills. You need to feed yourself. I think there's tariffs on folding tables. Hey, great use of tariff. Great use of tariff, Mark. Took you till, 3 minutes left to bust that out. I know they're putting extra cops around Bills tailgate, but that's in Houston. So maybe it's just a tailgate that's not conducive to the fantasy environment, to the tailgate environment. I don't know what tailgate's like. Ideally, next season, I would like to have a streaming backpack, and we can do the check down from different tailgates. So between these fantasy segments, so ideally, I would go to a group that's tailgating. I would eat their food, do a little chat, and then as I walk to the next tailgate, I do a fantasy segment and answer questions. That's the pipe dream down the road. Okay? Just so y'all know what's in the works. Other than that, though, we're just out here jamming. Ooh, let's watch a Minnesota. We got a cool... I want to get hype. Let's let Kirk Cousins get us hype. We got a Kirk Cousins pregame speech, and then we got the theme song, and then we're out of here. Crank this up.
Nothing in this league is free. Nothing's a gift. You
I love
can't
this
just
guy.
roll your helmet out there and play. You gotta go out there every play and earn it. And you gotta take it, man. You gotta take defense. I've been a rookie quarterback before. You can suffocate him. You can
Ooh,
suffocate him.
savage.
Make him miserable all game long.
Savage.
Get us the ball back. Like Dan Gable said. Like Dan Gable said. When you shoot, when I shoot, I score. When you shoot, I score. Here we go.
Ooh.
Win on three. Win on three. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, ooh. Dial him up. Dial him up, Kirk Cousins. Bang that theme song and let's hit some week 6 action, boys. Yeet. Ooh. Kirk Cousins doing all types of things for my body. Did I not get that up on the screen? I hope you heard it at least. Oh my goodness gracious, that was fire. Guys, y'all are beautiful. I love you. There's nowhere else I'd rather be for 3 hours on a Sunday. Let's get this money. Let's get this football. Boom Fantasy is the way to be. Boombox, Rick Rosen, Boom DFS. Best collab in the business. Hit the symbol. I love y'all. We'll see you for the Tuesday stream, waivers. We'll see you for the Thursday stream, pregame. Pow. The week don't stop. The grind don't stop. I'm always here for you at the Rick Rosen. Who runs at Boom DFS? I run at Boom DFS. When I shoot, I score. When you shoot, I score. Let's get this money together. Have a good Sunday. Be safe.